Hold on to your mug. We're in for a wild night.
Greeting, traveler.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and showcasing members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It is so good to be back. And I'm joined, of course, by two of my favorite people. Mike Lowe, how you doing tonight?
Yo, what's up, Big Nate? Hey, I'm doing great, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're doing well. And Hydra, looks like you're getting eaten alive in that amazing Born to be Wild Took. Took? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Took. That is the correct Canadian term.
Took. Okay.
And of course, very happy to welcome back Loramaster extraordinaire Goliath the Dwarf. It's good to see you.
Yo.
You.
It's
I love coming back on these things. Yeah,
always happy to have you. I get so excited for these. Like, it's such a story. I feel a little bit bad for the people who play with the cards and don't know kind of the story behind some of them, and some of the characters are like have such a major impact in the WoW and Warcraft lore that like, can you imagine you play Sylvanas, right, and you're just playing I don't know. It's like, oh, hey, this is a cool card with a neat effect, but you have no idea like the whole history there. Like, it's a huge story, and I don't know. And so this is an interesting set. I think there's definitely some lore here, and as we kind of explore it, it's I don't know, a little bit different than some of the other ones because this is a smaller part in WoW, like a. But I don't know, at least for me personally, as I started digging in, it was like, you know, there's actually quite a bit here. And I'm always impressed where the artists take their inspiration from World of Warcraft. And when you compare the game screenshots to the cards, they're like spot on. I mean, they did such a good job. And so tonight we'll be covering the lore behind Darkmoon Faire. And then at the end of it, topping things off with looking at this progression system when you reach level 50 and you can unlock one of the portraits. There's actually a kind of a neat thing here with the armor that they're all wearing in the portraits and how that relates to World of Warcraft as well. So that'll be fun. Anyways, let's see.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to say I expected this to happen in December, but it's been 3 months, almost 4. Let's pretend it's December. I appreciate Goliath being here. Excuse my brain. I forget initially where we met. What Discord was that?
We initially met, I believe you contacted me from the Alpha Chord server, which currently no longer exists.
So this is beautiful because I have in my, how was my week? I have some things coming up. So with that, I'm glad that I was able to have the foresight because I saw you posting in there. I got nothing like knowledgeable or anything to know about the game lore wise. And it doesn't interest me to take my time to go research it. But the way this show puts the episodes together after the last show, like the first 3 weeks, all I did was play cards that said Barov because the story you told me about how they were the family. Kel'Thuzad came to the hood like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Swindled them. And then like just that story right there, I played Jandis, Lord Barov, and Alucia just because of their family. Like,
I'm glad it enhanced your game so much.
Thank you.
And let me tell you, this is one of the things where, a lot of the time the story may or may not impact the game itself. But in those instances where they program in special interactions between cards or characters, whether it's the hero skins or the cards with each other, when they say special things, this is one of the cases where if you know the story, you understand why they're actually saying that stuff. Like, for example, if if you play Cairn Bloodhoof, which I haven't actually seen anyone do, but if you do, and you're playing against a warrior who's using the Garrosh screen, he will say, "Garrosh, you are not worthy to rule the Horde," instead of his usual thing, because of a special interaction that those characters had, a confrontation, which we can probably talk about in another episode, but just as an illustration that this is a part in the game where knowing the story actually can have an impact on understanding what's going on the board.
I remember we talked about in Ashes of Outland with oh God, what's his name? The one that he's magic. My people are addicted to it, right?
Kel'Thas Sunstrider.
Kel'Thas Sunstrider, right? And when you learn the lore behind it, you're like, oh, yeah, now that makes sense, because otherwise you'd hear that and you'd be like, okay, you know. But like that's like straight out of WoW. So. I really love when people put together the YouTube videos of all the hidden interactions.
Those are really fun. Yeah.
And you'd really have to dig to find a whole bunch of them. So I'm sure, someone will do it. That's not my forte, but I really enjoy those. Yeah. So
yeah, that's somebody's calling. Somebody out there will do it.
That's their strength.
There you go. We were talking about strengths and weaknesses, and I think, that's somebody's strength. And
oh yeah, you're right. That is someone's strength. Yep.
Hey, before we get started into the lore, I think we, I do want to say a real quick thank you to our patrons of the show. Thank you very much, especially to Shokunin and Pug Ugly, who are the executive producers of our show. They keep the lights running, the website running, and buy us some packs from time to time, and just a big help. We really appreciate you guys. Also, to our patrons, Adam W. and Claudette G, we really appreciate your help. And we got a new patron this week, Daniel B. So thank you so much. It really means a lot, and we appreciate what you do for us. If you are interested in becoming the patron of the show, I swear we're working on some rewards at some point. We will do them, but we do put a lot of time and energy into this, and so it does make it worthwhile. If you're interested, you can go to patreon.com/borntobewildhs. If you're interested in supporting the show in a non-monetary way, honestly, like leave a review on iTunes, leave a review on Warcraft Radio, subscribe on YouTube, interact with us in chat, follow us on Twitch. Like there's a lot of non-monetary things that you can do, but we appreciate interacting with everybody, and it's a lot of fun.
Hey, real tick, ride that coattail. For those who listen, I understand finances, trust me, at anybody. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, that is the first thing you should do. And if you want to do nothing else, that's totally fine, because that will help us out in the end. Trust me. That's subscribe on YouTube. It
actually, it helps quite a bit. Actually, it's interesting because we push out a lot of content on YouTube, and the way that it all works is it's like algorithm based. And so, so last week we did our gigantic episode, our set review, and then I did a real quick 10-minute like wrap up of our top 15 cards, and it was really interesting because YouTube will show the video to people based on there's like click-through rates, and it'll start like suggesting it to people, but only if the right boxes are checked in their algorithm. Like, it's all interesting. We could talk about it for a long time. Yeah. Meanwhile, hey, I don't know who Charles L is, but thank you, because they just subscribed to our YouTube channel.
Yo, shout out to Charles L. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Charles.
So, anyways, and then one thing actually that came in while I was prepping for the show today, and we really enjoy doing, is shouting out folks who hit Legend for the first time in Wild. It's a gigantic accomplishment, and we love to shout people out when that happens. So if that happens to you, please ping us, whether it's email or Twitter or Discord or whatever. But I saw this come through today. Michael Bush, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but just tagged us. Looks like yesterday. He says, Born to be Wild, after about 2 years hiatus, quit the game before Rastakhan came out. Decided to pick it back up a couple weeks ago. No bonus star legend. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Came in at 3333, which is such an awesome
Congratulations.
screenshot there.
Hey.
That's quite the journey you got there. A hero's journey.
Dude, yeah, so number one,
we
really appreciate the shout out. And there's nothing like first time legend. When you get it that first time, it's like, I remember me, I was shaking, it's
because you're so used to failing at it.
Right. Oh,
it's like, no way.
It's hard. That first time it's hard, but without any sort of bonus stars at all. Like,
yeah, 0 bonus. That's insane.
That's
a grind,
right? An absolute monster. So that's super cool. So congratulations.
No bonus stars. I don't want to hear anybody else who has a single bonus star complain about anything.
Yeah. We're going to talk about our week real quick, and we'll jump into some news. It actually looks like there is some breaking news about the reward system update, so we can chat about that in just a minute. Actually, I love when they release news when we're doing the show live, because then we get to
know.
Breaking news. You heard it here first.
They wait until 9:00 Eastern Friday nights just so we could say it. I love it.
we got the hookup. I love it. Okay, so
Yes,
let's
sir.
I'm gonna pass the mic over to Hydra then.
So everybody, as you know, we did our 10.5 hour long card review last week, so we didn't have a regular show. So it's been a little while. So since we all talked about, how our week's been going, but a lot has happened since the last time. So it would be 2 weeks, right? We've had the new reward system come out. We have the achievements come out. We've got a new set that dropped. Everybody opened their packs. So a lot of stuff's been going on. Goliath, what's been new with you for the last little bit?
Well, since the last episode that I was on, I landed myself a nice newspaper job, and I've been very busy with that. This past week was particularly busy because I write for one in a relatively small town, about a half hour's drive from where I live. And sometimes, especially when you have COVID canceling a lot of events, you really have to work to find things to write about. So I've been a little bit out of the loop of some of my typical Discord communities because of all that lately, but I've really been enjoying it. Actually, I just got an email today that I won a free pumpkin pie in a contest, a Facebook contest in the group. So I'm going to pick that up on Monday, which is going to be awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, like fresh made from a local restaurant or something. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. I'm really excited because Shadowlands in World of Warcraft is just going to release in less than a week. And so I'm going to be really busy with that too, but always making sure to log into Hearthstone at least once a day, like I have for the past 4 years. Like I swear, I've done at least once a day because I've had the free to play mentality pretty much since I did. I buy a pre-order bundle every so often for cosmetics. But so I want to make sure I get every daily quest. Don't pass up a single chance to get gold. And now, even though the system's changed, the habit is ingrained in me so much. I'm like, I wake up, okay, at least log into Hearthstone and get the quest. Okay, move on with the day. But I'm gonna be doing that. Gonna be playing a lot of Shadowlands. I had some good pack openings from the bundle that I got, which I got by earning money in World of Warcraft, because you can get gold. And there are people who want gold so much in World of Warcraft that they will buy what are called WoW tokens to sell on the in-game auction house. So then they spent real money. I give them gold in exchange for that through a completely legal in-game transaction, and I can turn that into Blizzard currency. So I just spent a couple months building that up, and I got the $80 N'Zoth bundle completely free of my own real money because of it, which was really nice to do.
Holy cow, that's rad.
I didn't
For
even know that was a
anyone
thing,
who
to be
plays
honest.
both games, I strongly recommend doing this, especially when a new expansion comes out. There's going to be a lot of new stuff to be able to sell if you're up to that sort of thing.
Wow.
That's been me lately.
That's pretty crazy.
That's a hustle.
I didn't know that was really a thing, but good to know for everybody out there if you didn't know already and you play both games. How about you, Mike? How's it been going with you?
All right, not as great as the gold farmer over here. That's pretty sick. I don't play WoW, so kudos, touche. Yeah. So Monday, was the last day of school.
Ooh.
I was really sick of Scholomance. So glad it's over.
Graduated.
Really glad it's over. Graduated, yeah.
Cut this out of
Yeah,
such a pain.
So it's time for the fair. We did our set review, and going into it, I had my mind like dead set on trying out this. It was a N'Zoth Paladin, the new one.
Ooh.
So we're talking about the beast was going to be Shirvala, the elemental was going to be either Ragnaros. My mech is Skyclaw or a Ziliax. Like I have the whole deck built. I have every card except for the N'Zoth because I didn't open it and I don't have the dust to
That's
craft
the one
it.
old god I don't have.
So then I hop back on the review show, and I'm just listening to it, and then something Sheep said, just like clicked in my brain. So I go to build this priest deck, and the card I fell in love with this week is Palm Reading. It's got the ability of Emperor Thoris in, and it discovers a spell. So like that card, I'm not saying it's broken.
It's very good though. Yeah.
Yes, it is very, very good. I hope I gave it a 4, but we'll do that episode another day. So, Wednesday and Thursday, it was just all like duels, and I was making a lot of golden duels. Not here to stir the pot or stoke the fire. I know people have their opinions about the system and all that, but for me, it may have been a lucky streak. I had like a 9-game win, a 10-game, a couple more 9s. But I made some pretty good gold on Thursday. We have breaking news. We'll talk about that. So maybe things will change there too. Hit Legend with that deck. It's Resurrect Priest. It's not built like other ones are, but basically there's taunts, there's lifesteal, and it shuts aggro down. The only games I've lost with it are to aggro druid when they hit the double and biggin games.
Yeah.
Like that is the only way I've lost. It's crazy, like how good it actually is. And I can't believe it. It felt so good to play Res Priest because for the past 2, 3, 4 weeks, I've been running into aggro druid. Like I could play 50, 60 games a day, and then I just get sick of aggro druid. Like on Monday, I really was so tired of this game. Like I try to be that positive guy. You know, I'll always be blunt and be real, but like I try to give the game a shot, and I was just so done with aggro druid. So Res Priest saved me there. Thank goodness. I know people hate Res Priest, but it's like a breath of fresh air because I'm not dying on turn 4 anymore, or turn 5. Like, so Shadow Visions into Palm Reading into Shadow Essence, like game over, bro. Like game, it's a wrap. I love it.
It actually worked out really well. You know, I wasn't thinking about it, and we typically will have like a deck of the week, and I was like, Mike, can we use your deck?
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fun. And
it'll be fun later. Are we doing decks tonight? Are we playing?
Yeah, if we have time, why not?
Yeah, we'll post on the lore. But to wrap it up real quick, Nicolina had put out a tweet today, talking about how she felt this new duels tournament for $200,000 is underrepresented. Not as many women, and not as many people of color.
It 100% is. It is, and that's really irritating. And someone, sorry, I don't mean to steal your thunder. Go for it. I'll talk after.
No. Go.
No, it's just really irritating. Like of all the people, like there's so, and I think she had said, well, hey, where's Educated Collins? Where's Pathra? Like there's so many good players. Like, come on. I get frustrated when, I don't know. Like I work in management. We really try hard to be, celebrate diversity and inclusion. And it's really frustrating when I see things like this and it's like, oh, yeah, there's maybe one person of color and one girl or two females, women. Like, come on now, you guys could do better. And I think that it's not the first time that we've said this. I mean, what kills me is out of 20 people, there's what, 2 women, and what is it, 1 person of color, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't remember. And it's like, okay, I'm not saying it has to be 50%, but like you could do better. You could do better than that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Frankly, I think that's it's just like I don't have the words for it. It's very like they could do way better.
You're expressing it very well without the, so we get what you're saying.
It's frustrating for me.
No, I agree. It is frustrating. So to be someone in defense of that, but also to speak objectively, because like you said before, we've talked about this. We all understand why the pool of people are what they are. So my only response to that is when people see someone who looks like them in a space that they're not in, but they'd like to get to, I feel like that will make them strive for it. Like
It's
you see it all the time
inspirational.
like you see it all the time in sports. So it was cool to finish my week because I don't want to go too long before we get to the lore. Pizza had jumped in the thread because she had said his name but didn't tag him. I guess Twitter had messed up. So then Ben Hearthstone had tagged Pizza, and Pizza said that he's content where he is in his lane, doing constructed, but he said he would find it enjoyable to watch Breadsticks, to watch Pocket Aces, to watch myself. Like he listed all these people of color, and it just shocked me at first when I seen the mention, because I seen my name and I was like, "Hey, who's talking crap? What's up here?" And I read the tweet. I read the tweet and I'm like, hold on a second. Like, I watched this dude at ACT. What is it? World's tournaments. What
That's
is he playing?
awesome!
Like,
Wow.
like ACT
That's a nice
tournaments.
shout out.
Like you guys know those tournaments. Like he's made so much money playing this game. So I was thinking, I was like, did he say my name because he knows about me? Does he watch me? Did he come from that Solissa raid? Don't know what it was or what caused it, but it was cool for him to shout out me, Breadsticks, Pocket Aces, Cleve, and D Money. Like, shout out to Pizza. Like, to me, that's a big move right there, because everyone who plays this game knows who this guy is. So for him to say he would watch a tournament where people of color were, put in it, and I'm all for it because obviously he's backing me. And secondly, like I just said, when you see someone looks like you in a field, that makes you strive for it, or it could. So I think so back to the point of them bringing in the popular streamers for numbers, this also helps with sales. If you put people in who aren't normally there, now you got people who might not play the game start playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watch a lot of Big Brother, CBS Big Brother. They got 3 people of color for 20 years every season. It's like, hey man, like that kind of scares people away from trying out from the show. So from the business side, if they had more people of color in these tournaments, I feel like that could get more sales. I played card games for 20 years, I'm just saying. But that was my week.
No, I mean, I agree with you. Just to hop on 2 super quick points. I mean, I'll tell you, as a hiring manager, I just had the same conversation with one of my employees who I can't talk about work, but like we were filling a position of authority, and she had said, "Hey, I'm so excited because this person looks like me," and I find that inspirational, and I think that makes me want to be better, and I just like, it makes me proud to be working where I'm working. And I was like, oh my God, wow, it like hit me right in the spot, and I think that
that's cool.
It means a lot, right? And
I think there's something special about being an inspiration in other people's lives. It's one of those little things that packs a big punch every time.
Well, it does, and I think we I don't know. I mean, I agree with you. I had a conversation with someone a while back at work. We're looking at best practices for a number of things, and one of the things that we talked about was that idea of like cultural competency. And it's hey, I want someone who speaks my language. I want somebody who looks like me and talks like me and can understand me. And I feel more comfortable, and I, look up to them. And there's so many positives. And I think where it kills me is if if we're looking at Hearthstone, world champions, you have to get there by winning. You have to win. And so I get that. That is a sort of like, that's completely objectively score based, and that's it. But when you're looking at something that's invitational, like, you just have to be a member of the community, and maybe there's some renown that goes along with it, but like if it's the key is, if it's invitational, then it's on Blizzard to invite the right people. And if they chose to not invite people, like, it's that's what makes me feel like, okay, you could do better. And I'm trying to be objective. Like, I'm really not.
Yeah.
I never want to just like slam on Blizzard, because I think that,
there's been enough of that this week.
Well, there has, and I truly think that
every week.
I do believe that most people do things for the right reason. Most people don't intentionally do the wrong thing. Every time there's an employee issue or a whatever issue, typically people mean well and they made a mistake, or they were ignorant. They didn't think about it all the way through. And so what my ask would be is, treat this as a learning experience. Like, do better next time. But I just hope that they would be open to that. It feels like ignorant to me. I don't know. I don't think I'm some like crazy progressive or something, but like, I agree with you. And this is me talking as like a middle-aged white dude. But when I look at this, right, and I see that there's 20 people invited. They're all Hearthstone content creators. And I've got 2 girls, 1 person of color, and then a bunch of white dudes. It's like, oh, come on, guys. I don't know. It makes me a little bit sad. And I mean, for the most part, I like Blizzard. I think that they've listened quite a bit to feedback from people. They try, and it's got to be hard. Anytime you're in a position like that, you put out something and people are going to not, people are never happy. Like, that's just, it is what it is. But I think that, without like beating the dead horse, that they would expect a little bit better from last. It was the same thing when they did the Battlegrounds thing last time, and they invited 20 people and only 1 girl. Like, come on, you guys. Like,
yeah.
Anyways, I'm sorry, but I feel pretty strongly about it. And
no, it's good.
We could talk about that for 3 hours, but I will spare you guys.
What about your week, though?
Oh, my week was good. I spent most of the week prepping for tonight's episode. I kind of geek out on these because this is a good chance for me to hop under the hood a little bit and dig into the WoW lore, and I have fun trying to, like, Goliath sent me a bunch of screenshots, but then I'm looking for my own because sometimes I want it from a different angle or a higher resolution or whatever. And then I started going through the rest of the set, and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's other cards that like aren't necessarily like Darkmoon Faire, but they're still WoW cards, like. So we've got some that are like questionable, like lore wise, but that have some lore to them.
Yeah, we're gonna attack those onto the. So we're gonna talk about core Darkmoon Faire stuff. We're gonna talk about a couple of the legendaries that have some lore in them that are part of the set but not connected to the Darkmoon Faire, and then we're gonna talk about the skin stuff afterwards.
Right.
And there's a couple cards that are part of this, but they're very much on the old god side of things, and so we're gonna save talking about those for a hopeful future episode, which will be a much longer one where we talk about the story of the old gods. Whenever that happens, maybe we'll need to have that one on a Saturday morning too. Who knows?
Hey, don't you come for our 10.5-hour mark. Back
Yeah. So, but no, it's been a good week. The COVID stuff continues to be scary, of course. So that's been my life kind of at work, because a lot of what I do is risk management and trying to figure out, how do we juggle employee safety with like constitutional rights issues and due process issues. Like, I don't want to put my lawyer hat on, but like it's been a long and interesting week trying to kind of sort this stuff out. I live in Oregon, and the governor recently put what she's calling a 2-week freeze on everything, trying to get things to kind of scale down. And of course, everybody's, it's a hard sell next to the holidays. Like, hey, can you please not travel? Can you please,
Man.
and I mean, I respect it. I don't want to get the COVID, and I don't want to, endanger anybody. And so we're trying hard for that. My wife has been sick, and we were a little bit worried about that. And so we were out getting tested last week, and she came back negative, and that was a good thing. But it's like whoa, it's very different. It's all conceptual when it's happening to people around you. And then when it starts to happen to you, it's like, oh, it becomes real. And so, I mean, geez, it's been crazy. So, but yeah, I mean, it's been a fine week for me. I kind of just been putzing around with different builds in Hearthstone. There's pros and cons, right? I hit Legend before the new set came out. And so
show off.
Now what is there to do?
Well, no, it's interesting because there's all these achievements now, and so I've been I'm a little bit of a trader. I've been playing some standard this week, just trying to. I want those achievements, and of course they're all a little bit buggy right now, and so I have the achievement for hitting Legend in standard, which is incorrect. I've never done that, but I don't have the achievements for all the ones leading up to it, which is stupid because I have done that. Like I've hit rank 5 a bunch of times in standard, and so
that's oh my god.
I don't know what's going on, but anyway, so now I'm like, well, I should hit Diamond 5 in standard so that I can get all these achievements. I'm just trying to get my freaking like rank 50 reward, like so,
level 50 gang.
I'm at like 20, right between 21 and 22 right now. And so,
wait, what?
Yeah.
I thought
no. I'm sorry. Not ranked in, I'm on the rewards pass or whatever. I'm at like, level, what is it? So you get the new warrior skin at 25, and
yes.
I'm right around like between 21 and 22 right now. And so
really? I thought you were higher.
No, I wish, but the one thing that I really don't like about it is that like the only real viable way that I've seen to get XP is to either do all your daily and weekly quests and to do the little achievements that have the chest by them, and so you get XP for that, because the XP that you get from playing is horrible. It's like, what is it? It's I don't know, what is it, like 100 XP for every hour you play or something like
400.
that? 400 for
XP
an hour.
now.
400.
Yeah, that's the number that they've given us, or we figured out, or whatever. It's 400 if you play for a solid hour, but I think you have to queue, like the second you're out of your game, queue again, sort of thing. Like I don't think it's gonna count.
Go.
Yeah.
Right. No, I saw. No, this is really funny. You talk about gaming the system, right? So I saw Ben Hearthstone. He was like, hey, I played against the computer, right? Because it doesn't rope when you're playing against like he went into the solo missions, played Naxxramas, and was facing off against Kel'Thuzad. And he just like went AFK and left for half an hour and came back and then beat it. And he said it maxed out at 70. So
yeah, because it says you need to be playing ranked to get that 400 XP an hour.
Yeah.
So you have to be on ladder.
Oh, I got it. All right, I'm gonna start a new username. So when you play a game, you can't talk to your opponent. So my username is gonna explain what we're both gonna do. It's gonna say rope for XP.
We'll put that right in the funny usernames channel.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I heard the people. Yeah, like Pendragon saying in the chat. I heard people say, "This is people have been playing Odd Warrior. People have been taking the full time for the turns. People have been the bots are now playing Odd Warrior. It's like, good grief. I don't.
Jeez.
I mean,
I hate
honestly,
Warrior for that
but
reason.
here's the thought. I think is that we all want the finish line like right now, but it's intended to take 3 months or something, and if we're already in the mid-20s, like 1 week in, like
That's been my thought this whole week. Yeah,
we'll be just fine.
this thing has to last us several months of things to do here.
Hydralisk, you're screwed playing on 3 servers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a moment with my week.
Damn.
So that's it for me. I've been rewatching Dexter, and I'm in season 5 or something like that. And it's this season with Lumen is my least favorite season, but overall, so far, it's been a good show. I enjoy it, and that's it. I think I've got a bunch of fun decks that I've been playing. I've been trying to post stuff in our Discord. So if you guys are looking for wild decks to play, join the Born to Be Wild Discord. If you go to the website, it's borntobewildhs.com. There's a link to the Discord, and we've got a bunch of deck lists and stuff. And so, yeah. Speaking of Discord, next week our guest is one of our Discord buddies. Schmoopy Daddy is coming on the show, and that'll be a blast.
Secret Mage Master.
Yeah, he's the local Secret Mage Master, and so I think you, Mike, especially you and him will have a lot to talk about.
Probably have a lot to say about Sayge.
Yeah, I love Secret Mage to burn, but I like talking to Schmoopy because of the strategy. Like, I get people memeing, "Oh, Secret Mage no brain." Nah, I can't until next week. This guy is a genius. Can't wait.
Oh yeah, no, I agree 100%. So, anyways, long story short, my week is fine. I got a new office at work. It's up on the 2nd floor with a really nice view, and it's been busy, but I'm good, and I'm happy it's the weekend. I get to sleep in tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Let me add
nice.
one final thing. And then we'll move on. I'm starting to do. I'm gonna be doing a weekly thing on YouTube with Wildcard with some off meta decks. Because normally, what I like to do personally, I like the meta decks. I like to play. I like to play the meta stuff, and I like to win. Right? I think there's a. You ask people, well, do you want to have fun or do you want to win, right? but some people want to do both at the same time, and Wildcard is a good friend. He is good at making decks, and he especially off meta decks and climbing with them, and so I'm going to be doing a weekly YouTube series with him on kind of an off meta spotlight, and so we did one last night of his recruit hunter. It was really fun, and it runs Blastenheimer on the top end and launching a King Crush at somebody. And then bringing it back with Revenge of the Wild is pretty rad. I would say like these decks, the idea.
Wait a second.
Wait. They're a lot more fun than they are competitive, but I swear it's pretty great.
Hold on, now you got me sitting up. Hold on, my brain's cooking.
Yeah, so here's the trick.
The cannon.
Right?
Yeah, go for it. Tell me.
Blastenheimer. So there's 2 ways that you can go about this, right? Blastenheimer says, pull a minion out of your deck, it attacks face, then it dies. There's 2 different ways you can bring it back. If you use Revenge of the Wild, it brings back a beast that died this turn. So we're talking about Charged Devilsaur, King Crush, something like this. Or or if it's a Death Rattle minion like Darkmoon Tonk or something like that, then you play 9 lives to bring it back and trigger the Death Rattle. So there's some things, there's some shenanigans that you can get up to, and so
let's play that tonight.
There's already a video.
I already did it for 2 hours last night.
Yeah.
But so I'll be editing down the videos because the problem with the off meta decks is that when you hit Reno Priest, you just lose. And no one wants to watch 2 hours of me losing and raging it. You should see the outtakes of me yelling at the computer. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, just post a little outtake montage at the end.
You wouldn't
laughs.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. But anyways, that's been fun, and I it's like, oh, let's do something new, and I can't bring myself to. All I want to do, frankly, all I want to do is play Thicketus and just mill my opponents over and over and over. So I do think that we were pretty accurate on some of our...
I've been burned by a brand Thicketus and then bringing him back with adding 2 copies to the hand. I had 15 cards milled from a deck with a Thicketus combo once. It was painful, especially since I was playing the Cthulhu the Shattered, which really depends on you drawing cards in your deck.
Just then you're screwed.
You destroyed the entire deck.
My hot take on these new cards. Number 1, Cthulhu the Shattered. The highest that I've been able to get is playing 3 out of the 4 parts. Like, that's the closest that I've been able to get. So I don't know. And then the other one, that Thicketus is freaking amazing. I think it slots pretty easily into Reno Warlock. It's surprisingly easy to trigger. It is not good in any of the other demon decks because Willow will pull it, which you don't want. Void Caller will pull it, which you don't want. Skull of the Minari will pull it, which you really don't want. With Brand, you mill 10 cards. If you are really feeling greedy, and this is more of a standard thing, but you play Philosophy to get an extra copy. But what I saw is people start to do is in their well, in any deck, like, right, you play the new Yasiraj, which says that when you play it, any corrupted minion you can play again that turn for 0 mana. And so you play Yasiraj for 10. And the only corrupted card in your whole deck is Thicketus, who then you
That's
play.
what the guy did to me.
Yeah, who you then play for 0 mana and mill 5 more cards. And it's like
dirty.
But I tell you what, when people do it to me, it's not okay. It's not okay at all. It's only okay when I'm doing it to you.
Yep.
So don't get any ideas. Anyways, that was my week.
All right. Well, for my week, things have been going pretty good. They've tightened up. I live in British Columbia, Canada, and they've tightened up the rules here on COVID and social distancing and stuff quite a bit. We're told that we're only supposed to be associating with people that live in our homes. In all public places, indoors, there's no exceptions to the mask rule now. Like, you can't just have a store that says we want masks or a store that says we don't care. Like, it's just everything is masks, like no matter what. This is as of yesterday, I believe. And so things are tightening up. They're saying, everybody, if you can work from home, work from home. Don't bring anybody back. They're just really, they've canceled all indoor, like there's no indoor sports or gyms or anything like that. So like if you play hockey or you play badminton, like whatever, you like,
so Canadian.
I know, right? like whatever. Yeah, I mean, Canadian or hockey. Dang it! Cool. But no, everything is it's shut down. There's a couple things you can, like, if you play outdoor soccer, that's allowed, but there's no spectators allowed. So they've tightened up quite a bit, which is good. It needs to happen, right? So because there's been like every single day for the last few days, it's like 700 more cases, 800 more cases, 700 more cases, like each day. Like yesterday was only 500 extra, which was good compared to 700, I guess. Right?
How's like the weather for you guys?
What's that?
Well, if you can't do many indoor things, I mean, we're in November. Is it Canada cold, or do you have temperature because British Columbia is on the coast?
Yes, I'm on the coast in the very, very southern part of British Columbia. Like, we don't really get snow or anything. Like, sometimes, like, it can happen. It'll snow like 1 or 2 times in the winter, and then it turns to slush and it melts away.
He's actually pretty close to me. Like, I'm in Portland, Oregon, like
Pacific
Northwest,
you guys,
like,
yeah, I think we're about like a 4 or 5 hour drive away from each other,
the only thing separating me and Hydra is the state of Washington. Like,
but if I'm at the very bottom of BC
and I'm at the very top of Oregon, so no, like it's about a 30-minute drive from here to Vancouver, Washington, and if you cut through, maybe 45 minutes, and then if you cut through all the way up north through Washington, then you hit Canada. So I mean, it's probably a 4-hour drive, or
because I've driven to Portland before, and I think it took about 4 hours.
So I'm further south than both of you guys, and I'm probably going to get a more snow this winter
Oh, yeah,
you'll ever have. It's not fair.
we get probably each year. I get like 1 to 2 days, and it's pretty mild. Like it's enough for the kids to play in for like an hour or two, and then it's gone, and that's like once a year. So
Get their fun, get it out of their system, and then have weather that is less dangerous.
well,
Yeah, except just really wet because it rains throughout the entire winter.
it's gonna rain
Oh.
for the next probably 6 months without stopping. I think it's regardless.
Yeah, well, we do live in like a rainforest, right? Like it's
Just not tropical.
just not tropical. Yeah, it just rains. It just rains. We got some cool like ferns and stuff.
I like it personally, but
Oh,
yeah.
I see. I'm not actually from here. I've lived here for like 8 or 9 years, and still every time it rains, like I run from my vehicle to my house or like to work. I'm like, get it off! Like I hate it. I hate it. But like it's better than it being like. I guess everybody like you guys deal with Fahrenheit, so
I've fully embraced the rain. I love it, but that's okay.
yeah. So Hearthstone wise,
Oh yeah.
I had a pretty good pack opening. I opened everything except for 4 legendaries in 231 packs.
Holy cow. That's
Yeah,
really good.
231, everything but 4 legendaries.
On which account?
On NA. The other servers I don't pay for anything, so it's however much gold I got.
Okay, so
kinda
they're
what
all in
I
one
got.
place, not spread out across different
No,
stuff.
just
Good.
on NA. So, and then I had enough gold that I just decided I was just going to craft the rest of the legendaries that I needed so I could get the full set. And then I have the cool new coin. So I
I'm
was
excited to get that eventually.
yeah, it was really cool just to use on day one. Little like whale flex, I guess. Like
I
hey,
hope
we
they
got
eventually add
everything.
coins for the other sets.
Yeah.
So, but you guys who have, for whatever reason, held on to complete collections of all the past sets, if they added coins for those, you would just get like 10 new coins.
That would be
at once. That would be
amazing if they
awesome.
did that. Because that's another thing. This achievement system is targeted at, I swear, people like me. So I was looking at the past sets, and I'm missing only like 2 to 3 like legendaries from all of the previous sets.
That's just Blizzard saying, "Give us your money."
And it's like you can get this achievement point if you do it because I'm missing Barnes from Carousel. Oh, we gotta craft it again. Right? Like
I got rid of Bards. That was OP for a while.
like
You probably had it and then dusted it.
like I feel like that's what I mean. Like I had it and then I dusted it when it was nerfed. I feel like if you had it, that should count.
If
you know what I
it
mean?
Probably
I'm
should.
inclined to agree.
But so there's a few that I'm missing, and so I could easily go back and like craft a couple. I actually did it for Skullomance. I was missing 1 epic. That was it from the whole set. So I'm like, okay, I'll just craft the epic. I don't even know what it was.
Dude, you don't even want it just for the achievement? Oh my
It was 1 card.
The worst part, my only complaint about the achievement system is that like there's nothing for you to do with your achievement points. It's like okay, I've got now 11,000 achievement points that I could do nothing with except brag, I guess. Like, okay.
I don't know. I like
There-
seeing
there
the
are decent
number go
parts.
up. It's stupid.
No, I mean I do too, but
It gives me something to do. See, that's the thing. When I started playing on multiple accounts, it was because I was bored and I felt like I didn't have enough to do in the game. So I started fresh on EU, played that for a while, and then I started fresh on Asia and played that for a while because like you would do all your dailies. And then like if you were at like whatever your monthly goal was rank wise, like I didn't care. Like I didn't really need to get some super high rank. So I just wanted to fill out my collection on other servers and just do things, feel what it's like to start over again, do the whole free to play experience. And that's what I did. But now they gave us so much. And what I ended up doing is for the first week of the new like achievements and all that stuff, I was trying to just complete my dailies and do achievements on the different servers, and I didn't realize about this whole 400 XP an hour thing. And then we made that channel for achievements in our Discord, and or not, achievements and like where you are in the track, and everybody was like way higher than me. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized that the more you play on the one server, like you're getting XP as you're playing on, and I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I'm screwed. What do I do? So then I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to put the other ones on the back burner, and I guess just focus on NA and try to catch up. So I did a dirty, bad thing, but Nate already confessed to doing the exact same thing. So I can confess to it. I played some standard this week. Because I had a bunch of chores and stuff to do around the house. So, and I was trying to hunt some priest quests because some of the achievements you can get XP for your track. Like there was like spend health instead of mana, right? And it goes up to spending 100 health instead of mana as a priest. And you get 500 XP for that. Like, okay. So, like, I'm cleaning the house and doing stuff around the house. So I'm like, I'll just play standard res priest. And, like, you don't need to think, like, what I was doing. So I was just like, Cartoon Defender. Okay, sure. And then it dies, and you get another one. And then eventually you just bring it back and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, making dinner and doing stuff, run back to the computer. It's like, there you go, raise a bunch more of them.
Are you one of those roper people, aren't you? Oh,
I wasn't trying on purposely to rope, but I may or may not have roped a few times.
Yo, Hydralisk.
Yeah.
I appreciate you playing while you do chores, because I literally have a deck. It's called Kitchen Sink Druid. Put the phone here. Aggro Druid, back to dishes. Boom, bust out some suds, and biggin. All right, back to the suds. Kitchen Sink Druid. It's very easy.
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's amazing because it's exactly what I was doing. It was like I can't focus on the game, but I can res things in priest in standard. And the win rate wasn't phenomenal because I wasn't really paying attention. But I went from like I was at the bottom, bronze 10 up to platinum something while I was doing everything all evening. So it's not bad.
Hey, there we go.
And then I was
playing standard.
Those things that you were saying, Nate, like you've done it before, but it says you've never gotten silver 5 or like whatever the heck. You did it. So it's like, okay, may as well get these as well.
Here's my thought, right? Is that anytime they've got something brand new, it's just like anything else. And it's the same with this achievement system that everybody's all pissed off about. Is like, look, there's something new. There's obviously it's going to need some tweaks until it's perfect. It may never be perfect, but like, or there's no way to make everybody happy. But like, hey, we need to launch it. If you wait until it's 100% perfect, they're going to launch it in 3 years, And so, like, just give it to us.
I don't want to wait that long for an update.
No, but like, I think
I think that's why it took so long to get so many.
Had to wait 6.
All right, it's close enough. Like, just let us have it. If it and then realize that it's not perfect, that they're gonna make some adjustments along the way. And I'm sure, I know even like. I think we should probably get into the news, but there's a couple of hot fixes that came out this week. And I was like, hey, we weren't giving achievement points for that thing, but we fixed it. We are now. And, I don't know. They haven't always been collecting the data that they are collecting now. And so they were like, hey, some of these achievements, it won't track for ones that occurred before whatever date it was. And so like, right off the bat, I got the achievement for Wild Legend, but the date on it said April of 2020. And I was like, I hit in 2018. Like, I don't know why.
I was confused by that stuff as well.
And you know what? It's not perfect, and that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So anyways, I think it's fine. I'm just excited to have it. I think it's cool.
Yes.
And I'm okay with it not being perfect. I mean,
it's a nice trophy wall. I like the satisfaction of having a digital trophy wall. So when I play games on Steam, I like Steam, and I don't really like the Epic Store or whatever because Steam has achievements. Epic doesn't. Even though I can get games for free at Epic. And like the first time I see a game is like, does it have achievements?
because if it doesn't, I'm less likely to want to get it because I love the satisfaction of collecting the virtual trophy case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, 2 quick things. I heard you guys are playing standard. I just want to prove to the people who listen to us that I haven't been. Look at that bronze chicken. No
Like
standard.
you are the first person I've
Wild
ever
legend.
heard brag about being a bronze chicken.
Wild legend, baby. Bronze chicken. What's up?
That's right.
Just saying.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
I heard,
amazing. I was
time
a
for
bronze
you.
chicken yesterday, okay? but now it's like a platinum chicken or whatever it is. Platinum, whatever.
Wow.
It is.
Ben from work sent me his secret sauce recipe. I'm gonna have to play it after the show. We'll see.
Okay.
He went on some like 38 win streak and Ben tends to do that, so I don't know that I'll have as much.
His priest deck.
Nah, it's something else.
He did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like just right now, like with some mage decks. So but
This guy's crazy.
no, the way that
last week he showed me like, he went like 38-0 on something.
yeah, but
Why?
I don't know, but like Ben is the best at playing Ben decks, and so I don't know if I'll be able to replicate his success. But anyways, look, we've been recording for an hour. Let's jump into the news.
Let's get it.
Let's do that.
Let's get it.
So first, we have something exciting for anybody who likes skins and hasn't collected them all. Tauren is back in the store again, and it's for free. So I don't know when this shows up or if it shows up. I can't see it because I already have it.
Right, me too. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's there or not for everybody, but
hey, but you know what? If you don't have it, go get it because it's nice.
Oh,
It's nice
this
to have
is
an
why I've
alternate
been seeing
priest
it all
hero.
week.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I play. Sorry if I make anybody mad here, but this is my favorite skin because I feel like she's the most cutthroat to me. I like Madame Lazul. I've been seeing Tyrande all week. This makes sense. This is why she's.
I
back in
would
shop
play
for
in
free.
Madame Lazul, but I didn't pre-order that expansion, unfortunately.
They'll
but
make
she is so perfect flavorfully for so many of the old god style priest decks that exist.
Is she a Hearthstone created character or is she
Madame Lazul is Hearthstone original.
Okay.
Okay.
Duranda and Induin are the only other priests there, obviously, from now, but Lazul
Right.
is original.
I always use Tyrande because of the hero interactions.
My dear Malfurion.
Yeah.
My darling Duranda.
I like it. Whatever it
And
happens, it's just
Illidan.
kind of cool.
What does she say to
I
Illidan?
will prove myself to you.
And what does she say? I like your brother better.
She says raw power does not equal true strength or something like that, which is a quote from one of the books, actually.
Damn. She's messing with the brothers. Damn, yeah.
It's a dangerous
That's
game.
cool. Well, that's out there if anybody wants it.
right,
Next, we had some hot fixes for anybody who likes to play duels and some weekly quest stuff. So we had there was a bug fixed where heroic duels were inaccurately set. Heroic duels ratings have been reset to 0 for all players. So everybody got reset. There's a bug where this one actually kind of bugged me.
The bug,
There where duels wasn't contributing to class progress. So with Demon Hunter, ever since Demon Hunter came out, I kind of just played the quest and I haven't leveled it up, right? But in duels, Demon Hunter was crazy good, right? So I just kept picking Demon Hunter and winning all the time, but the progress bar never went up. I'm like, what is going on? So apparently they fixed that, which is really cool. And I don't understand how weekly quests fully work yet, but there was a bug fix where people were not receiving new weekly quests. So apparently that's been fixed. I didn't understand, and I still don't fully understand when your weekly quests reset and when they start. When they first came out, I thought that, okay, I have 1 week to complete these 3 quests, right? But then when I completed my first one, which was only a few days later, it said you'll get a new one in 7 days. And I thought, oh man, I didn't realize how that would work. I thought that for some reason I had a week to complete these. But then I complete the second one like a few days later. So now I'm down to like 5 days left for the first one to reset. So I complete the second one. And then that one says 5 more days to get the next one. And then the next day I complete the third one. And now they all say 4 more days to get the next one. So does anybody here fully know how this works? Because I'm kind of
still
lost.
Confused, honestly.
So
Because they all say I got
numbers.
4 more days to get my next quests, even though they weren't complete on the same day. So do they all come in at once? Like I don't get it.
hey, for me, real quick. So I did this quest on, let's say, Tuesday. Waited a couple of days for these two. When I finished this one, it said it'd be available in 7 days. And then when I finished these two, they all updated, and it now says your next quest is available in 3 days. So with the friend list being buggy, I just feel like there's something buggy in there. But from what I'm seeing, I'll get 3 weekly quests on Monday.
The only thing I can think is that it's brand new, and so there's a bunch of bugs in it. I think it's stuff that they're going to have to fix, and so for me, I'm not trying to think too hard about it. When I see a new quest, I do it because I want the XP, and then when they give me a new one, I'll take it. And I'm just not thinking too hard about it. But
so there's that. The other thing, we already touched on this earlier when we were discussing the new Duel Fest. That's something you can catch on November the 24th. It seems like an all-day thing, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. if you're interested in watching. Sottle and Derek Brown will be casting, and it's a $200,000 prize pool.
Woo!
And if you're super into duels, it's something you could probably check out. I don't know. I don't recall them saying anything about drops or anything. Did anybody hear about that?
No, but it wouldn't surprise me too much if they did. November the 24th?
Yes.
That's a Tuesday. Bro, I'm going to be at work all day long. Why do they got to do that?
And I thought it was funny in the announcement. It says, "We're excited to announce our first ever duels tournament. Darkmoon Duel Fest. 24 of your favorite Hearthstone creators will compete for a piece of $200,000. I'm like, Hearthstone creators? I scroll down.
My God, if the devs were playing, I'd watch so quick.
Yeah, and I scroll down and I'm like,
I would be far more interested to watch that, actually.
I'm like, that would have been way cooler. They just missed the word content. It should have said content creators, but it just says creators.
They bring back some of the retired ones.
There you go.
Like Ben Brode.
Oh, dude, I would pay money to watch Ben Brode compete in a duels tournament. I'm just saying.
I might take Tuesday off if that were the case.
By the way, speaking of devs, I've been trying to sell this idea of letting us select a random class hero, and then have it choose a portrait for you. Because aside from Rogue that has 0 portraits, Mage has 9 now, and but the idea that I could say, hey, when I play Mage, I want to select my change my favorite Mage portrait to the random Mage portrait, and then every time I play, it would be a different one. And so we'll see. I put up a what's it called, a poll. And it was I think 95% said, yes, I would like this. And had a couple of the devs comment on it, actually. So I'm really trying. We'll see. You see, got a lot of traction, so I don't know.
And now Mage got the 3 new Jano.
Just what we needed. The class
even more amped up than
the
before.
class with the most. What really threw me off is with Mage, the portrait that we got for Jaina's Book of Heroes from Scholomance Academy. And the first portrait from this new battle pass or whatever, they look so similar that I thought it was the same one at first, and I was like, "What?" I don't know. I get the other two. The rank 20 one looks pretty cool. The rank 4 or the level 40 one looks really cool. With the water elementals, but the one that you get right at the beginning, dude, it looks just the same as the one that we just got. What is that? It's She just turned her head in a slightly different direction, or her hair's, this
I was about to
this
say,
much
yep.
longer.
She'll turn her body this way. She's like, bam.
It's like modeling. Like, okay, turn to the left. Now turn to the right.
God.
Make a pouty face.
And so, but anyways, I think once we start to unlock a whole bunch of hero portraits, the idea of doing a random one would be kind of fun. We lost Goliath. I hope he's back soon.
Oh, he'll come back.
Yeah, that would be good.
But yo, that level 40 mage compared to the scholar Jaina, yo, that level 40 skin, way better.
Yeah, no, I like it too.
It's like way better. Like when you see it, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, we also got this past couple weeks, we've got the whole new battle pass.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this real quick before we.
And there's been a little bit of drama. There's been some number crunching, and it turns out that if you want to max this thing out, if you were to go to the 150 levels, you got to play a lot. They said something about, I believe it was Out of Cards did some math, and it's about like 12 hours a day if you wanted to get to the full 150. But that's, I don't think, what anybody's going to be striving for. But basically, a lot of people are upset that you're not going to be getting the same amount of gold as you would beforehand doing your regular dailies and getting your 10 gold per 3 wins. And if you crunch the numbers, it seems significantly less.
It changed while we were speaking, though.
Yep.
Here,
yeah.
So I have the breaking news here. Celestalon just tweeted. Let me pull it up here real quick. I'm just not going to be on the screen, but I'm looking at my phone. Hotfix going up right now that replaces 6 packs near the end of the rewards track with gold for a total of 1,350 additional gold.
Ooh, 300.
So yeah, I imagine you restart the client. So they took out the ones that were giving packs, and now they give gold. So they removed Year of the Dragon pack, gives 150 gold. Removed Scholomance pack, gives 200 gold. Removed Darkmoon Faire pack, gives 200. Removed Ashes of Outland, gives 200. Removed Madness of the Darkmoon Faire, gives 300. Removed Year of the Dragon pack, now gives 300. So, and that makes sense. I mean, if I'm at sitting here at so this is for levels 33, 37, 40, 42, 46, and 48. Can you imagine you finally hit level 40? You're like, cool, my free pack. Like
yeah, exactly, right?
I've been grinding so hard for that one pack. So
yeah, and I'm guessing they picked doing that higher up for that reason, and also that probably nobody's really that high up right now, so they don't need to retroactively fix anything, right? Because it's still pretty fresh. So if nobody's that high, they can make the changes to something nobody's achieved yet. I wonder if there's a running race anywhere going on, like first to 50.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. We do it. We race to legend. Why not race to 50? It's just so my only complaint about it is that it feels slow, but at the same time, like I understand the point that it's supposed to last us for 4 months. I just I don't know. The one thing that kills me is that like you get to rank 50, there's 10 possible portraits, and you can only get one. So it would take you 3.25 years to collect all 10. Like, oh man, but by that time they're going to change something, right? And if they, something happens and they change it and I'm not able to get one of those, like I'm going to be sad.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to make sure that we're able to get them all. And you know what? That was really, when they did that, it's like, okay, they really are trying to hold on to us all, right? Like I need them all. I guess I'm playing this game. I'm in for the long haul. I wasn't anyway, but
That's a 3-year investment? Oh my god. All right. Well,
I have the feeling that they're going to add in others later on.
Probably.
For reasons we'll get into near the end.
Well, and this is why I like what Nate's suggestion to have the random hero.
Yeah.
Because if we're gonna have this rewards track every single expansion, there's gonna be a whole whack of hero skins.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
lots and lots. Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots. Which I can't believe it took this long to get. But
hey, real quick before we switch it up, everybody listening and watching, at least for right now for this first expansion, I want everybody to push. I want everybody to get level 50. But if you fall short, it's cool. But it's not cool. I want everybody to get it so we can all discuss like the ups and downs and then see going forward if it's worth it. Because in my mind, if it's going to be the grind that I think it is, I don't think I'll do it every expansion, but definitely this one because I want that damn rogue skin. Why are there 47 shamans and there's 3 rogues anyway?
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you guys before we move on to the lore. Are you guys doing the paid battle pass or no? And why? I want to know why. Goliath, what about you?
I did. So like I said, I'm free to play in my approach to cards. I like slowly building the collection from earning the cards. Cosmetics are the only reason I've ever forked out real money for a bundle. So I just kind of considered that since I did get the $80 thing for free in a technical sense, that I could afford to splurge 20 on the battle pass. Because now, remind me, maybe I'm misremembering this, but remember those first 3 store skins, the Magni, the Illyria, the Medivh, weren't they $20?
I think they were 10.
10.
Okay,
Yeah,
10. So $20 back then, what it could buy was 2 skins. Now you get 2 sets of 3 skins for a hero, plus a golden card, plus the special coin, plus the special hero and card back. It overall feels like not a bad deal compared to how things have been doing so far. I don't feel like this is Blizzard just amping up prices because they're greedy. So I felt it was fair. So I splurged on it. I tried to reduce my spending on this sort of thing, but I couldn't grind enough gold fast enough. So
the warrior skin looks pretty cool, I will say.
I really like that because it's about time. Mike, you talk about Rogue a lot, and yeah, Rogue has the most shafted end of the stick. Warrior doesn't have that much either, and so far they've had
Warrior got
Deathwing, Magni. True.
Yeah, thank you.
But
and you have
what I really like.
Done.
That's true.
But
what I really like is that this is expanding what the flavor of Warrior
where's Labor?
is.
I need Labor Sangre in here. Where's my rogue brethren? Hold up. Warrior's got the coolest skins. Hold up.
I love this. There's only 1 rogue skin because rogues are so stealthy that you can only find 2 of them publicly. The rest are hiding.
But here's something that Warrior has always felt very limited flavor-wise in a sense. Warrior is some bulky person who wields a bunch of weapons and has a bunch of armor. There's lots of different ways that you can imagine the flavor of being a mage or a shaman or whatever, different ways it goes. So I'm really glad that this skin helps to expand what the flavor of Warrior can be. This is a supernatural, angelic-like being.
She's like a Valkyrie, right?
Yes, exactly. Or a Valkyr is the Warcraft version, which is its own set of lore. But basically, that very connected with the warrior type of flavor, but branching out, expanding how being a warrior can feel in Hearthstone if you have that skin. So I really like that they chose this as our first one.
I agree.
Not just, you have lots of armor, huge weapon, smash. I'm Hulk.
To end my piece, I like the rewards track. It's cool to see the number move up. It's cool to collect the bags of money. I'm with it.
It's fun.
Hydra, do you pay for the battle pass?
Yes, I did. I I mean, originally when I thought about playing on the multiple servers thing, I figured for NA, I gotta at least do it on that account. I'm not gonna do it on the other one.
Okay.
This is turned into the ongoing drama of Hydra's
Yes.
multiple server accounts.
So
And
Just wait until they all find out of each other's existence and confront you on your unfaithfulness.
yeah. What? You spend most of your time with NA? How dare you?
on this episode of 90 Day Hydralisk. You just have some drama going on here. It's great.
Man. I think the biggest problem is that once you start, it's like a drug. You can't stop. You start on all three. Once you're doing it, you're like, okay, I have to make sure my dailies. I've laid in bed before and gone crap, I don't think I did my daily quest on Asia. I gotta go do that before I go to bed. And I'm like, crap. So I run out of the room. I go do it. It's okay, I just got to play 3 games with Rogue. That's fine. And I just queue up Odd Rogue and I play 3 games with Odd Rogue. It's okay, I'm good. And it's a weird bad habit. I don't spend an excessive amount of time playing the game, a ridiculous amount to the point to it's taken over my life. But there are those moments where I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna lose gold. So sometimes Asia gets the shaft a lot. Asia really gets the shaft.
Oof.
Unfortunately, sorry, Asia, but that's the one. I didn't have a lot of gold for the expansion.
Hydra, I've got to tell you that on Out of Cards in the Discord server, sometimes the writers play Battlegrounds together, but a lot of my co-writers are in Europe, and so they tend to do on the EU servers a lot, and they're like, Goliath, you should join us, just make an EU account. I'm like, no, I have seen what happens when people do that, and I have a bit of an addictive personality, so
it's
Hydra,
addicting.
thank you. You have been my cautionary tale to never give in and make that EU account
and you know what's
Battlegrounds.
What's crazy is Slizzle does it, and he is he hits legend on all 3 every single time, and it seems like a breeze for this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm I don't know how you do it. I wonder. I'd like to talk to him about how he's doing the rewards track, because I know that he's free to play. He doesn't spend any money on the game at all, and he plays on legend on all 3 servers.
Impressed.
So, anyway, enough about that.
Maybe we should temptation to do that.
Maybe we should get into the meat of the show.
All right.
Yes, an hour and a half in.
Time's up. Let's do this.
Yes.
All right.
Lock in.
All right. Timestamp, baby. An hour and 16 minutes in, and we're starting the lore episode.
Let's go. Hey, we're all caught up. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get warmed up.
Hey, all right. Let's talk about the Darkmoon Faire. All right, Goliath. Yes. It's all you, buddy.
All right. Now, by pure coincidence, I just so happen to be wearing a plaid today, so I'm going to get my Ben Road on. Well, met, adventurers. Today we are exploring the story of a mysterious realm called the Darkmoon Faire. The place that is filled with cheer. It is a place where the factions, it's neutral. There is no fighting in this place. It is a wonderful place. It's fun. It comes once during the first week of every month in World of Warcraft. But there are some sinister implications that we will touch on. So, to get started, the Darkmoon Faire, it initially, back in the early days of World of Warcraft, it was this traveling fair that would go around to different capital cities. So it had that whole traveling carnival vibe. When the state fair comes to your area, they've been traveling around all the different areas, and you're their stop. That's what the Darkmoon Faire used to be. And it's run by a gnome named Silas Darkmoon, assuming he's a gnome. We'll touch on that. And he has what he calls his family of freaks. They come from all different races in Azeroth, all walks of life. And they join the carnival, and they have a very close bond, almost to a fanatical extent. There is one, so that there's not very much direct lore or story-wise outside of the game itself.
But we do have, at one point, there was a little comic that was made that told a story about one of the members of the Darkmoon Faire who was framed for a crime, for a murder. And the story is about the whole trying to prove her innocence. Oh no, we can't in time. We got to break her out of jail. Oh no, we got caught. Oh look, they found the real guy after all. It's basically the story. But the real murderer escapes, and so they do their own brand of vigilante justice, where Silas kind of buries him alive in the coffin of the guy he murdered.
What?
Yeah, so there's more to this guy. Like I said, a bit fanatical, and he doesn't tolerate violence on his fairgrounds. Like I said, it's a place where, no matter what's going on, Alliance and Horde outside, you don't fight at the fair. But
We'll never look at this guy the same again.
He got really metal at least one time, and it's the implication that this is something that they're perfectly willing to do. Like I said, that's the only story that we have. But so when you guys look at the friendly, fun gnome who rotates your cards around all goofy like, remember that he buried a guy alive in a coffin with a dead body at one point.
Dude, how is his ability not make your opponent's minion dormant permanently with a coffin?
Oh, dude, what a missed opportunity.
That would be pretty awesome. But it was a comic that was released quite a while ago. Many years and expansions ago. I think even before, back during just the early days in this stage. So not a lot of people know about it. They would have to have some outside, recapping of the story or retelling in order to get people to understand what that was. But that would be pretty awesome, Mike. I agree. So
let me ask you a quick question. Yeah. So in the artwork, in the Blizzard official artwork, we've got the troll that's with him, right? And it's
an ogre, actually.
An ogre. I apologize. God, I should know better. By this.
Vastly different beings than Warcraft.
An ogre.
Maybe not in other fairy tales, but in Warcraft.
Yeah, way to assume, Nate.
Did I say troll? I know the trolls are the axe throwers. Come on now.
You said troll.
The ogre. It's been a long day. I'll blame it on work. The ogre that's with him, actually, there's a name for him, and he's in WoW. And I was surprised they didn't make the set. Is there any lore associated?
Well, we know his name is Burth, Burth, and he is Silas's bodyguard. I feel the same way, that there's some significant characters in the fair who didn't make cards. What I'm thinking, and I'll mention a couple of them. I'm thinking they say there's that mini set coming. Maybe they'll end up as in that set. I'm not going to bet any money on that, but I think there's a pretty good chance that could be the case. We don't know how big the set's going to be or how many
35 cards. We know 35 cards, but that's it.
Okay.
We've got one more coming up, actually, that could possibly be in that as well. So,
all right. Yeah. Okay. That's Burth, the bodyguard.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this in a movie somewhere. There's a circus. This guy's the ringleader. He's got the bodyguard with him. Knuckles all big and stuff, ready to beat someone's head in. This is cool. I like this.
It's good stuff. All right. Yeah. So the next one we have up is the Darkmoon Rabbit.
Yes. So what happened around the time of the Cataclysm expansion is the Darkmoon Faire got a revamp, and they had just a little bit of story along with it in the announcement that was in the form of an announcement by Silas Darkmoon, come on to the new Darkmoon Faire, as now we have a brand new island. It's an enigma wrapped in a mystery. That's literally the word they use to describe it. And he says, you wouldn't believe the deals that we had to make in order to get it, or who we made them with. See, that's another one of those little vague things that they say, that maybe there's something a little creepy, a little sinister going on in the background here, but everything is always very vague, so we don't quite know. Could potentially be old god influence, but this something to remember is that Warcraft and Hearthstone is not Warcraft canon. Hearthstone is the exploring the possibilities, the what ifs, or the what could be's of things in the Warcraft universe. Just how we have in the real world tall tales, myths, legends, like, Johnny Appleseed, Paul Bunyan, King Arthur, people like that are inspired by real events, real places, real historical times, but they don't quite get all the facts quite straight, and there's a lot of speculation. That's the way that Hearthstone is to Warcraft. That's the relationship the stories are. So, but the madness that the Darkmoon Faire is exploring, what if all these vague things are actually true? And what would happen if they were out in the open in full force? So that's where the old gods come in for this set. But so for the Darkmoon Rabbit, this is a world boss that you can find on the Darkmoon Island, hidden away in a little cave. And he's not a big boss or anything. He looks just like a little rabbit thing that you could easily do with a one kill. But he is very tough. I believe he is inspired by a scene from the Monty Python Holy Grail.
Yes. That's the quote. So I don't know if you saw this, but the flavor text for this card is a quote from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
So I have the most terrible Scottish accent, but if you can read it in your best Scottish accent, that's no ordinary rabbit. That's the most foul, cruel, and bad-tempered rodent you've ever set eyes on.
Yes. So that's one of the, sinister creatures out. The fair itself only covers a certain portion of the island. The rest is very dark woods that are filled with all sorts of creatures, including another creature who is a world boss, the other world boss, who I hope is another one who will get made into a legendary in the mini set. A large white wolf named Moonfang, who, if you beat it, you get a cute little pup as a pet that you can that you can have follow around with you. But so you have the Darkmoon Island. And the only way that you can get to the Darkmoon Island is through special portals that the fair people will set up when the event is going on. We have no clue where it's located. It doesn't show up on the maps. So we don't even know if it's in the same plane of existence, technically speaking. So when you go through the portal to the Darkmoon Faire, you appear at the top of there's a path that winds down through this black forest. It's always night, and
I have the map up here too. Is this the portal? Yes. at the bottom by this docks here? It looks like.
Let's see, I can't see what you're showing right now.
It looks like there's a long windy path that goes through the fair and then into some woods.
Yes. The ending point at the woods is the spot that you spawn in at the fair.
Oh,
and
cool. All right.
In order to get down there, if you don't have a mount yourself, you're given the use of riding a Darkmoon Strider, which is where that card comes into play. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And these are a variation of a bird called a Plain Strider or a Tail Strider. There actually was they've appeared in Hearthstone before, I believe in Goblins versus Gnomes. There's a card that no one ever plays called Lost Tail Strider or something like that. So this is a variation of that. They're basically Warcraft's version of ostriches, emus, cassowaries. Warcraft does this a lot, where they'll have a slightly fantasized version of a real animal. Like they don't have crocodiles, they have croclisks, which is one of the basic cards in Hearthstone, so I'm certain you've seen that one quite a bit.
I've killed many of these.
Yes,
many,
exactly.
Many.
Many.
In the Barrens? Is that where they are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where, so the Darkmoon Strider. And as you are riding down through the woods of the fair, there are several signs which, if you mouse over, they can be a message that I'll read to you now. It says, ahead of you down the path, a majestic magical flare. Ignore the dark and eerie woods. Ignore the eyes that blink and stare. Fun and games and wondrous sights. Music and fireworks to light up the nights. Do not stop, you're nearly there. Behold, my friend, Darkmoon Faire. But you notice that they mention those blinking eyes and the dark and eerie woods, like in their own promotion material, which like I okay, so I only took one PR writing class in college. Still, I think that emphasizing the things that should be ignored, the creepy stuff surrounding you, that's not the greatest PR move in my opinion, but they have it anyway. And so yeah, that's when you take down to the Darkmoon Faire. And so one of the key things, the fair is basically full of a lot of mini games that you can play. So first you have to buy tokens that you can use to play the games, which you will then earn tickets. And through those tickets, you can save up to buy various rewards. Some are game type of things, which can help to increase the power or the duration of certain armor pieces. Most of it is cosmetic. And one of the most expensive ones is a mount that actually made it into a card, the Darkmoon Dirigible.
Oh yeah, wait, sorry, hold it. Let me interrupt for 2 seconds. Just to
Sure.
Art appreciation moment that the Darkmoon game token and the new coin, the art is basically the art is identical. It's perfect.
Yes.
Like, the new coin is the token. Like, that's awesome. And then
I love it so much.
And like the artwork from the Ticketmaster, like the ticket, it matches the ticket in the Darkmoon prize ticket. It's so great.
That's really cool. That's right on point.
It's so on point. And I understand like we're doing coins, but like it was such a it was like the golden opportunity to have the game token be the coin.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Yes, I was so excited when I saw that. I think that the special Darkmoon coin is pretty cool too. That one doesn't have any to get at the end of the progression path, but this token right here, that is straight out of the game.
I'm guessing this one does turn gold if you have a full golden deck.
it does.
Yeah, I think that's the way that all the coins are going.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm gonna have to play it all golden deck for fun. I haven't.
Well,
I haven't
that
looked
shouldn't be hard for any of you guys.
No,
right?
no. Yeah,
This is
I
Wednesday
haven't
for
played
you.
it in an all gold deck yet, so I want to see how shiny it is.
I don't have no gold decks. Hold up.
It's a
You gotta talk
dangerous
to those
habit.
guys.
It's a dangerous habit.
They have the palatial estate, up near Portland in Canada. I'm just in New Hampshire, bro, chilling.
Gotcha.
You saw me brown chicken standard player. No gold.
Oh my God.
But anyway,
All right. So we have the Darkmoon Dirigible. So you get this as a mount, right?
Yes, it costs 1,000 Darkmoon token, which I should emphasize that. Darkmoon tickets. You have to save up for many months. This thing is only available. So all the mini games that we'll talk about are dailies. So you can do them once a day and get a couple tickets from them. There's occasionally a couple other ways that you can get some tickets, mainly by if you have this Darkmoon guidebook and you can randomly drop things that you can turn in for some extra tickets. One of them to Sayge. But yeah, and it's only available for the first week of every month. So you have to save up for quite a bit, a long time, in order to get 1,000 tickets. So this thing is quite the Darkmoon prestige to show off. If you have this, it shows, I am a real devotee of playing the Darkmoon Faire.
Sorry if you've said this already. When was the first appearance of the Darkmoon Faire?
So the Darkmoon Faire itself, it was initially in the sort of traveling circus style from early on, the very beginning of the game, around the classic era, before any of the expansions came out. Around the Cataclysm expansion is the time when they got the Darkmoon Island. And moved and changed format. That's when all of this stuff, a lot of these particular games and the whole token and ticket currency, all of that came with the rebranding when they got
that came with the island. So that's when you could first start collecting to earn.
Yes.
Well, and I noticed that it got an art update, right? Like we had talked about this in the last one that, like with Scholomance Academy and. I don't know. It looks like this one as well. Like when I was looking up the art, I see some that are older and then I see some that look updated. And so was this something like, did this happen when they got the island, or is this just as the game has updated over time?
Probably the major thing was when they got the island, but every expansion, or I'd say almost like every 2 or 3 expansions, they get really big graphical overhauls that they put in things, and so they'll reskin, they'll update the appearances of a lot of old stuff. Not everything at once. There's actually a couple instances where, like Calicos, for example, the big blue dragon from Rise of Shadows, in his human form in Warcraft, it still hasn't been updated. So it looks really weird. So he has this really low textured human face standing next to all of these high textured humans, and it looks really off. So they don't do everything at once, but they tend to do major overhauls for various different things every 2 or 3 expansions or so. So I can't tell you exactly when these particular images got their overhauls, but it was likely around one of those times.
Now, with the fair in general, you see like that eyeball is very prominent on kind of the banner.
Old God imagery.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I guess, I don't know if we touched on this very briefly, but like, we're skipping the old gods for now because the old gods, it's enough for a complete separate episode.
Let me put it this way. The old god story starts before Azeroth existed. We're talking the very beginning of reality in the Warcraft mythology. So yeah, there's a lot to cover for that. And we'd be here way too late if we started doing that now.
But is there the influence of the old gods in the Darkmoon Faire, or
well,
not
that's
so
the
much?
thing.
I mean, or do
it's hinted at. There are all these implications. All the, like I said, the signs, all the eyes going around. Like you feel implicitly that there's something there, but nothing is ever explicitly stated. It's one of the few great mysteries that still exists in Warcraft. And it's one of those things where you feel torn because you like learning the answer to a mystery. Like, when we read mystery stories, we like knowing what happens at the end. But you also want to have some element of mystery preserved so that it makes the world feel a lot bigger when there's all these things that you don't know. So kind of want there to be confirmation, kind of don't. It's a bit of a toss-up, and I'm sure most people feel they're somewhere along the line of being torn between those two views on it. I'll tell you, there is one thing that I didn't mention. There's a lot of ghosts on Darkmoon Island that you can only see when you're dead in the game. Like if you die to one of the real bosses, you're walking around as a ghost. You can randomly come across other ghosts that will have bits of vague, riddle-ish dialogue hinting at their past. All people who worked at the fair, people with various backgrounds running away from problems, running away from their old lives. Like there's this goblin who was trying to escape a debt. There's this one guy whose family tried to kill him when he was a kid. And Silas took him in and they worked at the fair. But then something happened to them. Probably in the dangerous woods outside the fair. There's like an undead cannibal out there. There's like, yeah, her name is like Jenny Green. She's a food vendor who sells, the flavor text indicates that the stuff you're buying is made of human remains or
gross.
something.
Wait, what's her name again?
I think it's like Jenny Green Teeth or something.
Oh, Green Teeth. You cut out last time. Green Teeth. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'd have to Google that right now.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's fine.
But at any rate, so yeah, there's a lot there, so we don't know how they all met their fates, but they all they're all haunting the island and everything. So that's another one, creepy little insinuation type of things. It says there's probably something a bit sinister on the loose, maybe the old gods, but again, we don't quite know. Here's one really interesting thing. Remember I said Silas Darkmoon, if he's a gnome. He certainly looks like a gnome. But one of the ghosts you can run into says that he was from the city of Strom, which is this human kingdom that hasn't existed for 2,000 years, somewhere along. And now it's possible he could be referring to a kingdom that was built in its place called Stromgard. But if he actually just means Strom, that says that, when Silas met him, that would indicate Silas is a lot older than peers and maybe not everything. Again, something that we're not entirely certain of, but just to give you an idea of this sense of mystery. This is about the most lore, technically, that we have about the Darkmoon Faire. Just all these hints and allegations and theories and everything,
I like it. It's mysterious.
Yes.
That's fun.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
Let's move on to the bright and cheeriness of the fair.
Right. So we're getting back to the games. We have the giant cannon.
The cannon.
Yes. So this game is called the Darkmoon Cannon, and the legendary Maxima Blastenheimer, which is just a really fun name. Funky little gnome. Basically, the way that this game works is that she will shoot you out of a cannon after you pay your token, of course, and she'll shoot you out of as a human cannonball or a troll cannonball or elf cannonball, etc., into the bay, off the coast. And there's a target floating in the water, and you have to press a button to try to activate your parachute at the right time that you land straight in the target to get the maximum amount of points in order to win your tickets. So isn't the flavor text like it's only the third game at the Darkmoon Faire or something like that? I think that's on the card.
This is a really good example of the in-game lore matching the card mechanic, where she launches you out the cannon, and then you die.
Yes, yeah. This is my. I love even just getting the characters and the art and everything. But when they have a mechanic that perfectly mimics what they do, that is that's just like I get the most excited during reveal season when I see a legendary and their mechanics. It's like, oh, I know they because they do that thing in the game. Yeah. It's just so much fun.
That's so cool.
I believe there's an achievement for Hunter Tide with this to do a certain amount of damage by blasting minions at your opponent.
I believe it. I think they have one for each of the legends.
Yeah, because
Hey, she's kind of short. Is she Silas' sister?
No. She's a gnome. Not all gnomes are related, obviously, any more than all humans are related, except unless you want to go common ancestry. Although technically, gnomes are actually descended from robots that got turned into flesh by old gods. Again, story for another thing. So, okay. But yeah, gnomes have an interesting backstory.
Mind blown.
But so they're the same race, but that's about it. There's no lore that says they're related in any closer way.
All right. Okay, so next up, we've got another game, the Ring Toss.
Yes. This is a very frustrating one, at least when I try to play it. So you see the cute little turtle that is on the card. Basically, you need to toss a ring onto him, but he keeps moving around randomly. He has a name, by the way. It's Dabinko. And yes, the turtle is named Dabinko. and you have to toss the rings around him. And
does he teleport, or does he like
no,
walk around?
He just he'll walk slowly and like stay still for a little bit, and then just when you're tossing it, like you click to toss it, and then just before it gets there, he'll suddenly turn around and walk in another direction. And it's really, you have to like try to get down his pattern and be really good with your timing and stuff to anticipate where he's going to be, so you can throw the ring when he's there, so it lands on him when he gets there at the same time.
Oh,
it's like surprisingly difficult. mini game.
Yeah, you just gotta shoot where they're gonna be. It's like Call of Duty. We there.
Basically, yeah, except with rings. I'm not very good at ring toss in real life either, so. But yes, that's that one right there. And then we also have the shooting gallery, which is where Ringling's rifle comes in. So this card is an old god corrupted version of the rifle. So that's not the way it appears in game, but it is this shooting gallery run by a sand troll named Ringling, thus Ringling's rifle. And it's a pellet gun, so if you were to actually try to do any damage with it in game, it would do absolutely nothing. But so it's basically, you have some targets, and you have the ones, and you want to shoot the one that lights up when it lights up. One of the easier mini games, and you get so many points, and then you get your tickets if you are able to get those points.
Is that one good to farm?
Well, again, they're dailies. You can only do them day, so you can't really farm it any more than you could farm any of the others.
Well, it must
If
take
you
forever.
could, I would recommend it.
But so how do you get good at the turtle if you can only do it once a day for a week, a month? Like,
well, no, you can only complete the quest once a day. You can keep spending tokens
I was
to
gonna say, is
get
there
unlimited tries on it.
like
But
it's
once
a pinko
you get it, you only get the reward once a day. Rather like a real carnival. We'll let you spend a bunch of money on this to get the prizes.
but you only get the prize once.
Yes.
The rifle here looks, it actually also, if you see it on the screen, it looks like the same rifle they use in the screen where, it's like like a musket or something.
Yeah. Obviously without the eye and teeth and everything.
It's been corrupted by the old gods.
Yes. It needs a muzzle on its muzzle, I believe the flavor text says.
That's pretty good.
Should count as a corrupted card. It's already corrupted.
All right. And then we've got the Tonk.
Yes. So Warcraft is interesting in its blend of what level of technology they have in this fantasy setting, because gnomes, goblins, and dwarves all have highly mechanical aspects in their cultures that they're good at tinkering, making these things. These Tonks are actually of dwarven design, and they are essentially remote control cars that shoot stuff. It's honestly more advanced in this fantasy setting than most toys that I ever saw as a kid. But basically the way that this works is that there's this little town that you drive around, and you want to control your Tonk to be able to shoot as many targets as possible, while there's these little tiny zeppelins that are floating above it trying to shoot it down. And it's, again, one of those, try to get as many points as possible within the time limit type of games. And so that's the Minefield card is kind of representing it, driving around, trying to avoid all that stuff on the track.
Oh, okay.
It's really interesting. A couple things here that I think are neat is that, when you look at the card, like it looks like a full-size tank, but like in the game, it's a toy basically, right?
Yes.
Which is
like a little remote control car.
But then like flavor-wise, it makes sense that it launches these little mini bombs, because I had wondered the death rattle is fire 4 missiles at random that do 2 damage each. So it's like these little bombs with these little damage, like. But it makes sense because they're toys, right? It's so cute. Yes. I mean, it's really pretty funny.
Yeah. And toys can do damage. I mean, like, I don't know if any of you have ever been shot with Nerf arrow before on when a kid did a full on their Nerf bow and shot at you, but those can leave an impact. So toys can do damage. This is entirely realistic. So yeah, then after this, moving on, we have the Whack-A-Gnoll Hammer, which is another one of the mini games. It's obviously like Whack-A-Mole, but there's these large barrels that you have to go around, and it's one of those things where it's a timed game, so you're rewarded for doing things quickly. But there's a catch, because there's 3 different gnolls that can pop out of the barrels, and they're like stuffed animals on springs, of course, not actual living creatures that you're whacking, which you can see in the artwork of the. And they actually appear down on the Darkmoon board in the lower right-hand corner. You can click on one of those, and it bounces around the spring in the barrel or whatever. Don't know if you've noticed that, but that's one of the things there. And so there's the basic gnoll that can pop up. That will give you the default amount of points. There's a large hogger, which you guys know the hogger card and everything. He's a gnoll. We'll talk about gnolls in a bit more in a minute. And if you hit that one quickly before he goes down, then he's worth a lot more points. But then they also have these little stuffed baby gnolls that pop up in like little bonnets and pacifiers and stuff. And if you hit those, well, that was bad and you lose points. So it's the challenge of being able to have the reflexes of getting it quickly before it goes down, but not so quickly that you don't stop to notice, oh, that's one I'm not supposed to hit, because you don't hit the babies, for crying out loud, you know?
Nah, because Silas will come after you, I heard.
Yeah.
I like this. The hammer also is like straight out of the game. It's great.
Yeah.
The artwork here is spot on. So
Mm-hmm.
the other 2 games, the next 2 games that we have, I didn't see cards for. So we had the Firebird Challenge, and although there's kind of like sparkles in the sky and stuff, and I wonder
a lot of the mage cards, like the grand finale, the fire kind of theme, but there's nothing particularly about the game itself.
Yeah, we see some of those kind of fireworks and rings of fire in the sky and stuff, and then the Darkmoon races as well. Although we have the Striders, and so maybe that's thematic enough,
right? And again, things I'm hoping maybe they a bit more into the mini set. These wouldn't even have to be legendaries; they could be commons that would just touch on things a bit. But I'm really hoping that we do get a bit more of the complete flavor that they're going to bring on and that stuff. And so then those are all of the mini games from which the tickets to get the prizes and stuff. But there's other features at the fair. Some things are just fun to look at. Others are things. So for the roller coaster and the carousel, these are actually things that you can get like a little book of ride tickets. And if you hop on, it'll give you a buff that increases your experience and reputation. So basically, while you have it, after you rode on one of these rides, basically you get more rewards for doing the same stuff. Kind of like the XP bonuses in the Battle Pass, honestly. And I love this. After you do it, the buff is called, and I kid you not, Wee!
That's amazing.
It's like,
funny.
I was having so much
believe
fun
it.
on the carousel that I get more experience out of every pig that I kill or whatever.
Gosh, that's funny. So I have
I
here
believe
the
it.
carousel up, and so we've got Revolve and the Carousel Griffin.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I did not get the pun on Revolve till this exact second.
What
You
is
didn't?
No, until I didn't realize. I never looked at the carousel.
Devolve, Revolve.
Yeah. Now that I know it's carousel tied in, like I didn't even think about that. Like I did.
Yeah. That's the flavor is pretty spot on.
Yeah. Obviously,
okay.
that's an
I
old
like this
god
card. This
corrupted
is
version
cool.
of the carousel, but
And then the roller coaster here, there's a couple cards as well. The Cascading Disaster and
Yes.
and Derailed Coaster. Do we does the roller coaster ever get derailed? I would hope not.
not to my knowledge in the game, though. That I have seen a lot of jokes that you guys remember the safety inspector card. There are a lot of jokes that I see, at least the community make about, oh, watch out, if this is goblin made, then chances are that you can't trust it or whatever. But goblins put getting something built quickly ahead of getting it built properly. That's kind of their thing. So it would, yeah. So, but as far as game wise, it never goes off. Story wise, I think it would be very likely that it wouldn't like this, though no official lore exists on whether it does or not.
I will say that this, the Carousel or the roller coaster is probably the most iconic part of the fair.
Which is interesting because it's actually new to the fair. I see what you're doing there. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. It was actually only added like a year ago to the fair.
Oh, so, interesting.
Yeah. They always add, they have their big patches, their big content release. They like to sometimes just add small things in between or as a part of it alongside. So once they're like, yeah, so we're having the large patch and you're going to go to this undersea place and this place with a whole bunch of robot gnomes and we're adding a roller coaster, the Darkmoon Faire while we're at it. That was like part of a BlizzCon announcement at one point. So yeah,
right.
So
nice. All right,
playing with the coaster on the game board, it's fun.
I like this a lot better than some of the previous game boards that we've gotten, like more than the Ashes of Outland, for example. This just feels more alive and interactive a game board than some of the other ones that we've had before.
Like a big like Ungoro crater style effect that like happens on this game board.
The roller coaster the coaster itself will travel around the various parts of the game board, though, which
again makes it feel alive, like I was saying.
Yeah, like it pops out on the bottom right. I know that.
Yeah.
By the way, this Cascading Disaster card, I've had it played against me over the past week, and it's better than I anticipated.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's plus. A+.
I believe it.
I think we probably rated it fairly low.
Edit the sheets. Edit the sheets.
Right. But yeah, anyways, the losing 3 minions for 4 mana was really tilting.
Oh man.
But apparently they did not survive the derailed roller coaster. All right, so we have the petting zoo here. And so there's a number of different creatures that we see, and I was looking at it earlier because I had thought we had chatted right before the show, and I was thinking that the trampling rhino may have been one, but it turns out it was just old graphics, and it's actually some kind of lizard instead.
Yeah, it's called the thunder lizard. Yeah, that the old graphics do sometimes make things look a bit too similar to each other, but so this is basically it's Menagerie Bazaar, and they spell it. They don't spell it bizarre as in like the normal where you go and buy something. They spell it bizarre as in strange with the B-I-Z-Z. And it's basically the whole come and see all the exotic creatures from all over Azeroth type of thing. Like, real exotic zoo type of stuff. And they have the little petting zoo area, which is where the card gets its name from. And it's also where the Don't Feed the Animals card is set. With the Hunter really went, because Hunter is all about beasts and everything, so it made sense that they would really draw on the menagerie flavor for a lot of their stuff, as well as the projectiles from the cannon and the guns. Yeah, a lot of that stuff just lent itself to the Hunter flavor really well.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, and I think we saw menagerie as kind of a theme for this set, as far as just like a new archetype for the warrior class. And I was going to ask you about Ringmaster Watley. That's a new creation, right?
Yes, he does not have any particular lore, although I would love to see that character get a mod appear in the game. And it's not unheard of for them to take Hearthstone characters and add them to WoW. They did it with Sir Finley and League of Explorers. So I'd love to see him get added into the Darkmoon Faire, because why not? He's pretty cool looking.
Yeah. Okay, the next one up that we have is the Deathmatch Pavilion.
Yeah, so this is what the Shaman class is drawing a lot of its theme from. So
this is a game?
It's sort of. Basically, it's an arena. Because like I said, there's no fighting at the Darkmoon Faire.
Yeah.
Except in the Deathmatch Pavilion, where it's basically a gladiatory arena where you can go and have a free-for-all PvP stuff if you want to. On certain, around midnight or so, there will be a chest that appears that you can fight over, and will get you some rewards if you're the one who comes out on top and no one kills you before you can actually open it. And
okay.
yeah, actually, it's rather similar to, if you remember the arena treasure chest from Rastakhan's Rumble. In the Gurabashi arena, there's something very similar where, okay, at certain times of the day, a treasure chest appears. And the thing is, when you click on it, it is like an action bar to complete the action of opening it, and that can be interrupted if someone hits you. So the thing is that you need to make sure in both of these things that you take down the other people so that there's no one around to hit you to interrupt you trying to open the chest to get the prize. And so they really leaned into this.
Make sure the other wrestlers are on the floor before you climb the ladder.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, the flavor text says "worth it for the stuffed toy" at the end.
Yeah. And then the legendary that I'm not showing right here, the dwarf. She's an original character, but she's they found a way to lean in. They're making her. They're like, oh, she's one of the champions of the deathmatch arena. With her lightning hammer abilities, being a wild hammer dwarf, because they're a type of dwarf that has shamanistic abilities. A lot of the time, they tend to kind of have the Thor type of thing with lightning and hammer.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's so in that's kind of how they're linking it with the shaman flavor in general for this set.
Like to see that. Okay.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
I played for 6 years. Skullomance was maybe a little more, but this one is Skullomance. I love the artwork, but also the lore episodes make me say this. But it's cool to see and hear like what the WoW story is, and to see like the artwork in the card. Like,
yeah,
this is like a total different experience from playing Hearthstone, dude. So I'm loving this. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Hydra. This is cool.
Yeah, this is a blast. I love it. I love it.
And something that they, the Hearthstone devs talked about is when they can just use some of the art in the cards to tell even just like mini stories that are a part of it. Like how, there's this character, you have their minion, but you see them also doing an action in the spell, and just kind of shows a little story about them, doing something in this setting. And I really like that aspect of the Hearthstone as well.
Yeah, and I think they just started that with Skullomance, and I saw the devs saying that as well, where with the legendary cards, they were trying to do other cards that showed that character in them doing something.
Yeah,
and we saw that in Skullomance as well.
Yeah,
in this set also, and I think that's been pretty fun.
Yeah, keep doing that.
Agreed.
I'm really interested in the next one because I think that this is a more of a major character here.
Okay.
So we have Sayge.
Seer of Darkmoon. So Sayge is a gnoll here. So gnolls are basically anthropomorphic hyenas. They tend to not be the brightest. Hogger is the most famous one, the leader of called the Riverpaw tribe. Their point of origin is unknown, though generally in Warcraft, most animal type races are descended from some sort of powerful animal nature god or created by them in some fashion. But we don't really know anything about the
created by
gnolls. Yeah.
You said it.
That was good, Mike. I like it.
You got to go take a shot. That's the rule on the show. If you say created by, take a shot. I'm just kidding.
I don't have any booze in that. But so they are actually one of the low-level races that if you end up fighting, they are big problems with against Stormwind. But Sayge is unique, and he is pretty much the only gnoll who is hostile to you. And so he has this little fortune-telling tent, kind of in a bit of a back corner in the fair. And if you go to him, there's this fun little thing where he'll do this completely for free. You don't have to pay any tokens or anything. Where he'll ask you some questions and you can choose some dialogue. And then depending on how you answered it, you'll get a unique buff that for a little while that increases one stat or another. And so it's like, I can see you your future, and based off of the way you answer my questions, this is who you are, and that affects it. And so that's what's affecting his flavor right here, where he's all about, uncovering the secrets of, what something really is. So for every secret that you trigger, he's getting more cards.
That's clever. I like that. That's a good ability there. Uncovering the secrets. So they did great on the artwork for this, including the red crystal ball.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was an apple. In the World of Warcraft picture, I thought that was an apple.
No, that's Sage's crystal ball, right there.
Oh,
what's a carnival fortune teller without one?
Well, I was looking behind him. I thought that blue orb with the crystal, with the mist. I thought that was something, but never mind.
I see. Yeah, no, that's just the lighting behind him because they made him look tint in this art than he tends to appear in game with the lighting.
Got you.
Very cool. Okay, well, what would be a fair with no live music, right?
Yeah.
Is it time?
Elite Tauren Chieftain, which has been a card before, I maybe you guys can tell me this. Exactly how did you originally get that card? Because now it's Hall of Fame, Druid.
Yep.
It's a BlizzCon thing.
Oh, okay. Just why they made it where it wasn't, a super powerful ability. But okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, I believe it was only golden was BlizzCon, and you could just craft the regular one, as far as I remember.
Yeah. So the golden version of Elite Tauren Chieftain can only be obtained as a promotion from purchasing either the ticket or the virtual ticket for BlizzCon 2013.
A little late for that.
Yeah, you can get one. You can get one on eBay for like $700.
My man said eBay. Yo, no, you did not. Stop it.
No, I'm not joking.
I'm test of your Blingtron whaliness.
And the golden one is uncraftable. Cannot be crafted, cannot be disenchanted. The regular version of Elite Tauren Chieftain can only be obtained through crafting.
And it's not a good card.
I am guilty, but it has very, very awesome entrance animation.
Oh, yeah. I can't even remember what all its cards because it gives you like a random card. None of them are good.
Yes.
No, they're not good, but they certainly rock.
And so, hey, at least now we have a version of the character regular. You don't have on an old ticket to get in golden.
I love that he's playing the drums with this giant hammer.
Yes, that's Chief Thunderskins, the drummer of the band, but often serves as the mascot because he is a Tauren and it's called Elite Tauren Chieftain. So here's the thing: Elite Tauren Chieftain is a real band made of Blizzard employees, and they have a virtual version of themselves in the Darkmoon Faire. They even made it as a hero in Heroes of the Storm. Elite Tauren Chieftain. Like he has moves like Power Slide and Mosh Pit and stuff like that. So the cards that you get that you were talking about from that original card, there's through the Rogues Do It, Power of the Horde, and I Am Murloc. Those are the names of songs they've written.
That's right. Yeah. That's good flavor. I do have a question, though.
It's a pure flavor card, that one.
So the stage here, it looks like the name, it looks like LOOETC. Is that something different, or it looks like a lightning bolt? I don't know. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Is that a 9?
I don't know.
Are you talking about the original one or the new?
Well, the one at the Darkmoon Faire has got them on a stage, and there's like a banner with the band name on it. And it doesn't say E.T.C. It looks like...
Is it L90?
Is it... Oh, it's level 90. That's got to be L90 E.T.C.
Level 90 ETC.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. That's what
I don't
it
play.
is.
I'm just guessing. I don't know.
No. You've got to be right, because I know with some of these expansions, my brother used to play a lot, and I remember some of the expansions, like if you came in with this expansion, it would level your character up, right? To So this is level 90 ETC. That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
God,
It's like you're
What a-
bragging. I'm
what a-
so elite. Look at my level, type of thing. You know?
what a silly. That's an inside joke for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So the members of the band, it looks like an orc and a troll and the Tauren, and what is that, a human or an elf in the middle, and a dwarf maybe. So it's a whole different group of characters here.
Yeah, each of them representing the actual Blizzard employee who makes the band.
That's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, there is an OTK deck with E.T.C. I don't know how good it is, but it exists, and so we'll have to try that at some point.
Yeah, I'm curious
Can't wait.
to see the combos for this. But Warrior's pretty good with Rush. It's one of the ones that the mechanic is a bit stronger in that class. So I'm looking forward. I don't have this card myself, but I'm looking forward to seeing the combos that people can make with it.
Clark Hellscream.
It's like the whole power sliding thing in stage.
The
With
the entrance animation on this one as well is super cool.
Is it? Does the power slide in?
It does something. I don't recall, but I saw it once and I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, it's like a lot of like energy, adrenaline. It shows the letters ETC. It's like it's one of the best like animations I've seen in this game. I was like, damn, for a 1/4, holy crap.
All right. And then one other thing that you can collect in the game are these Darkmoon cards, right?
Yes.
So how do these work? Like the artwork on the cards is super cool, but I don't understand. So I looked them up: Berserker, Death, Greatness, Illusion, the Blue Dragon, Crusade, Heroism, Madness, Maelstrom, Twisting Nether, Vengeance, and Wrath are the different Darkmoon cards. But like, what are the cards?
Yeah.
So the cards are things that you can collect. If you have the inscription profession, which basically means you can make them, but some of them can only be gotten off of powerful boss enemies around the world, like in various raids or world bosses or what have you. And the idea is that you eventually work to collect them all, and when you do, they can be turned in at the Darkmoon Faire, and you get a special trinket which gives you special abilities that is that deck. So it's like these are powerful magical cards of unknown origin, maybe old gods. And actually, one of the little hints is that if you talk to the Professor Thaddeus Paleo guy, who is the one who turned the cards into, he says, like, oh, have you heard of these cards? If you find any, the master, I would be very interested. Like, so yes, so these are just two of the possible deck trinkets they can get in the deck of chaos and the deck of lunacy. And I love the art on these things, and I love their crazy effects. I also just love the meta of there being a card in the card game of Hearthstone that is a deck of cards that influences your actual deck of cards.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, and if you look at the artwork, number one, right, Deck of Lunacy, it's Sayge is the one holding the cards, right? I mean, that's got to be Sayge.
He's kind of showing it up like a tarot card in a sense. Is like, I think you're...
Yeah, and then the artwork on the madness of the for Deck of Lunacy is the madness card. Like it's the art straight from that, which is really cool.
Yeah,
the flavor is like spot on. I'm just so impressed. Like, and it makes me sad that like so many people don't know about this stuff, right? Like
that's why I'm here.
Yeah. This is awesome. That Blue Dragon card, that's Malagos, right? That's my boy, Malagos. Yeah. Blue Dragon.
It must be. No, yeah, and for Death, it's Deathwing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's definitely Deathwing. I can see the big metal jaw. So,
which one of these cards is Chaos? Am I blind?
Let me move the artwork here real quick. Let's see. I don't see. No, I don't see one for Chaos. I don't
think you don't have that one up on the screen right now.
I didn't see. These were all the ones that I could find in the wiki. So I don't know. I mean, it's possible that I missed something, but
there is the Chaos deck. But
interesting.
There were different ones that were added on different expansions, and I think not all of them have the same art in that style. You know, there were ones made for higher levels. So you're probably looking at some of the original ones. I think the Chaos one came along a little bit later and didn't necessarily get a picture. I don't.
Oh, it's possible.
Cool. It's still cool to see this stuff.
Yeah.
Now we know that if it did have a picture, this is what it would look like.
This also shows what Nate was talking about. Sayge is a minion, legendary, and then this is a spell that shows the minion in the card itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the same class legendary too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Not the same deck, but yeah.
What? Don't you want all your secrets turned into cards that cost a bit higher?
That's funny.
Ice Block is now Blizzard, but anyway.
Hey, there you go. Has anyone played these yet? I've played Deck of Chaos. My experience with I've only played it once or twice. I feel like it's slow, but it's pretty powerful. I mean, playing a 3-mana 9/9 Void Daddy is pretty dope, but it feels kind of slow to me. I don't think that unfortunately it's probably as good as we hyped it up to be. Deck of Lunacy I have not played at all. Have you guys? Mike, I saw you.
Yeah, I played it. One time it was very beneficial for me, and the other time it wasn't. So it's total.
You're at a 50-50 right now.
Yeah, if you're looking to hang out and have some fun with the guys, play it. If you're trying to get your friend quest in, sure, but don't play it on ladder for ranks.
Yeah. All right.
So that's about all of the basic things we have for connections with the Darkmoon Faire. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what they come out with in the mini set, but there's not quite as many cards to feature necessarily for this because the set is flavor-wise split in two. You have more old god leany things, you have fair type things, and of course, there's lots of fair type things that they just created for the Hearthstone that don't appear in the game, but these are pretty much all of the relevant ones that do. That being said, this is one of those things where I love when Hearthstone expands on the flavor of something because technically, story-wise, things are always much larger than they are in the game. You know, like in World of Warcraft, you have the huge capital city that is really about the size of a real life city block or something. Story wise, it's much bigger than that, but they're limited to what they can do in the game. So what I really like in Hearthstone with cards like this, like we have, like the game master and like the knife salesman or all those different things that you can imagine. Okay, they might not actually be in the game, but you can imagine that they are, and it makes the whole thing seem bigger in that sense. That's another thing I just love about Hearthstone. Expanding like this. But then we also have some cards about that are some of the legendaries in this set that don't fit into either of those camps. They're not super old gaudy and they're not super Darkmoon Faire. Some of them, but not necessarily certain what they're doing, but they're characters that it's great to have in.
So first up I've got Grand Empress Shek'zara. This is the rogue legendary.
Right. So this is one that actually does have old god connection because she is the Empress of an insectoid race called the Mantid, obviously inspired by a praying mantis by their design. There's lots of different insect type races that serve the old gods, and they all look like different kinds of bugs. But essentially, her thing is that she is the Empress. She was just an egg when you first encounter her in the game during a raid where you have to kill the previous Empress, who has essentially been possessed and is causing a lot of problems. That's for the Old Gods episode, basically. But essentially is that recently in the Battle for Azeroth expansion, she pledged her loyalty to N'Zoth as the new Empress. And you have to kill her as a world boss and fight a lot of her minions as she's sending these swarms of, giant, human-sized flying insects, and they tend to use they use amber a lot, so like they'll trap you in amber, either the liquid or freezing you in a block of it. And it's one of those things that if you think it was actually happening in real life, absolutely terrifying. Like horror movie type stuff, if they actually looked realistic, giant praying mantises coming to get you. But that's essentially what she is right there.
Wow.
That's funny. Well, no, that makes sense that you see the little insects in the background of her card and the eyeball in the background, which indicates the old god influence. That's actually pretty, all right. Next up, we've got Tenwu of the Red Smoke.
Yeah, so this is a character without much lore personal-wise in Warcraft. He is a character who is he's called a Shadowpan. Basically, in Pandaria, which I really want there to be a Pandaria Hearthstone expansion because there's just so much amazing stuff there. But he's what's called a Shadowpan. They're basically panda ninjas. They're the like rogue. They have all the stealth stuff. Honestly, they would fit amazing. Oh, actually, there's that Shadowpan card from the Grand Tournaments as the combo ability. And so they are like masters of stealth, and they help to fight the Mantid and other threats to the Pandaren. And they have like this cool monastery that they train in way up in the mountains, and they're most Pandaren are very laid back and fun living. The Shadowpan tend to be a bit more I wouldn't say emo, but they're the very serious ones about, we have to take threats seriously and no nonsense and that type of stuff. Tenwu of the Red Smoke is an anomaly among the Shadowpan and the Pandaren. His few dialogue things, he's rather full of himself. He's like, I'm so handsome, I'm so talented. You're interested in me, aren't you? Yeah, like that. Like if you keep clicking on him, he'll say that sort of thing. So like he's as a character, he's pretty much just someone who's there. You might see him in the background a few times. You might have a quest or two associated with him. Not a major lore character, but really cool to see individuals like this still get a little focus on them in the game when they have Hearthstone cards and you remember them when you might have forgotten.
Yeah. What do you think about a Mists of Pandaria expansion? That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those cases where you'd want to focus in on a specific region, because remember for the Ashes of Outland, that was just all over the place covering an entire and like the different classes were focusing on different regions. So it was very just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and they used up all of Outlands in that. I understand why they did it, but I think for Pandaria, you wouldn't want to use up all of Pandaria. You just want to focus on the richness of one or two particular zones.
I see.
I mean, how many times have we gone to Northrend? They have the Grand Tournament, the Descent of Dragons, the Frozen Throne. All of those take place on the same continent, but they're in very different locations on that continent.
Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. Well, I just I love the flavor for the rogue class of the Shadowpan.
Yes,
that would be super cool. Just saying.
They would make a great additional rogue skin. Just saying.
I would like that a lot. All right. Let's move on. So we have the Paladin legendary of Yrel.
Yep. Okay, so this one is going to get slightly complicated.
That's a huge lollipop. Look at that. Wow, that's a gigantic grape lollipop. My goodness. Sorry, my bad.
Just came
Draenei
back
Paladins
from
have
the
very
dentist.
large crystal hammers.
She's at the fair, right?
That's funny.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was the prize. One a big
Yeah.
lollipop.
That takes you for that you never finish and end up just throwing away most of it. That's me with candy canes most years. I can never finish a candy cane. I tend to accidentally whittle it down to a little point and just stab my mouth, and that's it. That came out of nowhere. But at any rate, so Yrel is actually from an alternate reality, because there was this expansion called Warlords of Draenor, which got really complicated, where basically Garrosh Hellscream, the warrior here, he used a bronze dragon to go back in time and created an alternate timeline on his world, or it became Outlands back before everything got corrupted, and he decided to invade our reality through the dark portal. And it's one of those things that it's a time travel thing you don't want to think too hard about, otherwise you get a headache. But basically, the Yrel is from an alternate reality where we go and you meet her, and she's she's just a naive little priestess who has been captured. She's very young, and she has, she eventually grows in confidence, power, and ends up becoming her people as a strong paladin and exarch, which is a special rank that Draenei have in their societies. And then the expansion ends, and we go back to Azeroth, and none of that really comes into play with the story again, because she's not in our world, she's back there. But there is this one thing where briefly, in order to recruit some orcs from that time period, in order to come join the horde, there ended up going back to the world, but jumping many years into the future somehow. And she kind of went a little fanatical and crazy, potentially, where she's kind of going around like Grand Inquisition style, convert or die type of stuff. And I don't necessarily like what they decide to do with her character off screen. Maybe they'll revisit it and fix things up. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But that's basically who this character is. Nothing to do with the Darkmoon Faire.
Where do we like
even this reality? But
in game now? Can you still find her?
Well, not in the current story. If you play through that expansion's content, you can be with her and everything. You can see her.
She no longer exists in the game currently.
She's in an entirely separate timeline than the main game story. Like I said,
I like that.
Yeah. And
I can appreciate
the main thing that I can say is why they put her in here is, where else would they really find? There's not really an expansion that they could fit her in properly necessarily, because I don't see why they would set one in the alternate timeline, especially since it wasn't a very popular expansion. They had a bit of a content drought a lot. It's kind of has a bit of an infamous reputation among WoW players. But I think that it's similar to the theme that Paladin had in Whispers of the Old Gods, where it's like, oh, so the old gods are rising, powerful, like the Stand Against Darkness and all those types of cards. So I think for these two Paladin legendaries, and we'll get into the next one, that is basically like, let's pick two of the strongest warriors of the fight combat.
Oh God, sorry, chat.
Schmoopy.
Yes, say it. Yeah,
she's playing that game at the fair where you swing the giant hammer to hit the bell.
Let's go with that. I don't know if there's flavor text that says anything related to that, but yeah, let's say she's here to win prizes and kick old gods, and she's already won all the prizes.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness.
Let's go
Yo,
with that.
Goliath. Yo, Goliath. So, like Memnarch said, she exists, but not really. She's like my ex-girlfriend. So here's the thing. I watch The Flash, and very often, The Flash will time jump. So when you explain the time jump to me, it doesn't feel that strange. I totally understand what you're saying.
Yes, I watch it too. It's really good.
Yeah. Oh, so you guys get it. We operate here. She exists here. Garrosh sidestep. Pull her here. I get it. I totally get it, dude.
Okay, good.
It's like you said, it makes sense if you don't think about it. So let's do it.
Yes.
By the way, the flavor text says there can be no neutrality in the fight against darkness, which makes sense with her battle cry. Your deck can have no neutral cards. Yeah.
Oh,
she actually says that as her.
That's the flavor text.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying that her voice line. She goes on. Your deck can have. Would be the most meta voice line I'd heard on a card, but yeah.
No, her voice line is like Nate said, hammer swing, ding.
Ding.
So anyway, that's who Yrel is.
Okay, so next up is Lothraxion.
Yeah, so he is a really interesting character. So he is, as you can see by his tribe tag, a demon. He was a member of the Burning Legion, but he converted. He isn't filled with the fell, chaotic energy that demons have and that you wield as a thing, that green, nasty energy that feeds on life and gives you, a lot of rush of power at, the cost of life tap and everything. Because he ran into this group called the Army of the Light.
Yeah, with Tyrellian and Illyria, right?
Exactly. Yep. They were there. He's actually the one who recruited them into the Army of the Light.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And so basically, when he was a member of the Legion, he was charged with hunting down minions of the Void. So, they're like the Void Lord card and everything. So he was, because the Void is a threat to the Burning Legion as much as the Light is. Because the Void consumes everything. And so he kind of ran into some trouble on one of those missions. And then he was kind of rescued and purified, infused with the light. All the nasty foul stuff was flushed out of him. And like he remembers all the stuff that he did. And he's like, yeah, I really regret all that. I was not a good person back then. And I want to atone for it. So he's basically a dreadlord, like he's the same species of demon as Mal'Ganis is, but he fights for the light.
A paladin, demon.
So,
like when I first saw this card, I knew there was lore. Like it's so unique. I mean, that's super cool.
He also seems very tall.
So he's basically like Vegeta. You know what I'm saying? He used to be bad, but he's a good guy now. Looks bad, but he's for the good side. I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
He looks like, the demon body and everything. He's got, but he's all golden and stuff. So
real quick, I love when odd paladins play this because then I just revive my taunts and it's game over. Continue, Nate.
I opened this card in golden, and it's even more beautiful like in gold. It's just it's like it's so cool.
Yeah,
I saw that when you opened it because I considered crafting it in gold just ahead of time because I knew it looked good. I'm like, you know what? What if this card's a whiff? I'm not gonna do it. And then it's like you pop it open. I'm like, oh, I should have did it. Just because it's gonna be so shiny. Now Nate's got one and I don't have it.
Actually got it as my free one with the bundle.
That voice.
Oh, nice, nice. It is quite shiny.
Nate has one.
Golden minion.
Jimmy has a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis.
Oh my god, you guys. All right. The next one up I almost missed, and I was like, hey Goliath, what do you think about this? And this one's a little bit of a stretch, but we have a Scarlet Crusader here. who is
What?
actually a vendor at the Darkmoon Faire, right? I mean,
Yes.
I sincerely doubt that there's any lore, but
6 years later, let's hear it.
So yeah, she's actually added just a couple of years ago in the Legion expansion. They just decided to add her in there as a vendor. So here's the interesting thing. So the Scarlet Crusade, I believe that I touched on them back in the Skullomance episode.
yeah,
Kind of radical group that was corrupted by a dreadlord, but they were very dedicated to completely wiping out all the undead and everything. They didn't know they were corrupted by a dreadlord. They think they're the good guys. So basically, you can only get things from this vendor if you're wearing a Scarlet Crusade tabard.
that's
if you
funny.
try to talk to her without it, she'll say, "You're the reason that the Scarlet Crusade fell, and I have to try to fundraise to get us going again by selling this stuff at the fair." If you have the tabard, she'll sell you the stuff. And if you're a Forsaken, if you're playing an undead and wearing the tabard, she'll say that I'm disgusted with you. How dare you wear that tabard? You are a loving abomination. And then you basically say, look, you need money. Just shove it and let me give you my money so I can buy things. Like those three different options, the three different unique dialogues you can get from this vendor.
That's pretty funny. Wow,
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
Take my Darkmoon coins, you witch.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it as far as characters and cards from Darkmoon Faire. I swear I thought there was something about the effigy, the Darkmoon statue.
I thought so too, but I couldn't find anything.
I swear I read it at some point that they burned it on the last night of the fair or something like that, but then I couldn't find it again. And I couldn't find any screenshots either, and so I don't know.
It looks like something they would put in, but I haven't. And the fair's not going on right now, so I can't live game.
Yeah,
find the screenshots. So maybe it's there, but we don't think so right now. They could add it at some point. Who knows? And it's good additional flavor.
Yeah. Well, one other thing that we wanted to touch on that Goliath and I noticed I thought was pretty interesting was now that there is this when you hit level 50 on the rewards track, you get to choose a new hero portrait, and there is one thing in common with at least 9 out of the 10 hero portraits, and that is that they all have armor from a very special set. The exception is the Demon Hunter, but can we talk about the Demon Hunter first?
Sure. Yeah. So all of the other sets, they all are based off of a special armor set that you get from the very first raid in Warcraft. But Demon Hunter wasn't a class back then, so instead, this is what's it called? Demon's Bite. Is that?
Is it Demon? I think it's Demon Bane.
Demon Bit, or well, whatever it's called. I think that sounds right. Is a special armor set that you could get early on when Demon first came out in the Legion expansion. In your basically through special quests and accomplishing various feats in your headquarters, which was this really cool, basically demon spaceship that you stole from the Burning Legion as your command center in order to fight against them. Basically, it's you could get this armor set, and it's one of those things that if you get the different pieces, like the more pieces you have of the set, the stronger it becomes. And that's something that all of these have in common. They're the others are what we call tier sets, but this is about the closest thing that they could come to it for Demon Hunter, since Demon Hunter is still new in the grand scheme of things and doesn't have all of those past different armor sets they can draw on. But I think it's pretty fitting that they grabbed something that was basically one of the first powerful sets of armor you could get for the Demon Hunter class when it came out in the game. And they dressed Illidan in it.
Yep. Well, I know that's the other thing I noticed is that they matched the name of all of these heroes. Like this one is Demon Bane Illidan. They named it after the armor, and so they did that with the other 9 heroes as well. And so when you look at the name of the armor, it matches up with the name of the name of the new hero portrait matches up the name of the armor.
Exactly.
So first up, I have the Druid, which is let's see. I don't have the article pulled up in front of me though. I should probably get it here. But I suppose it's Cenarian something or other.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, not all of these armor sets are going to have any individual lore attached to them. Cenarian has where the Cenarian Circle is named after Cenarius, who was Malfurion's teacher and essentially the nature demigod who taught Druidism to mortal races in the first place, mainly Night Elves and Tauren, though other races eventually kind of joined it a little bit. But it's basically this faction-neutral circle of Druids that work to, help keep the balance of nature and all that stuff. And Malfurion is the head honcho of it and everything. So that's kind of what that one is named after. But that's probably the most direct lore that we're going to get out of any of these others. What they do all have in common is that they are from the first raid that I mentioned in the history of Warcraft, which was called the Molten Core, which is where you fight a minion that I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with, a legendary. He screams, "Die, insect!" a lot. Ragnaros was the very first end raid boss in Warcraft, and in the raid, as you're trying to get to him, then you would collect these tier sets, these various pieces that would give you powers the more that you had. And so that was something that it was not only something that people really wanted because it was powerful, but it was also you had to get the rare drops. Even if you killed the right boss that dropped it, it wasn't at all guaranteed, especially back in the days of Classic, long before I played it, that you would ever actually get the drop. So if you had a full set of these things, that was a lot of prestige that you had. Like, I have the whole thing. This is the most powerful the game, and I grinded all this out. I had skills with my guild to be able to down these hard bosses enough for me to finally get the armor. So that's why I think it's so cool that these are the skins that these characters have for getting to the very end, which I might add. So you get this at level 50, correct?
Correct, yeah.
That was the level cap back in Classic. So you had to be level 50 in order to go into the Molten Core raid and to fight Ragnaros and to collect all of this armor. So it just matches so perfectly, I think.
And didn't you say you had the Fellheart armor for your Warlock or something?
I have a couple of them. Yes. Now you can just go into it because it's years old content, and so you can just go around in one shot and so all by yourself. And try to collect it for transmog purposes, just for the sake of making your character look cool and dressing up. Nowhere near the same prestige, like no level of prestige that it has now. It's just cool looking stuff compared to what it was back then. But hey, some of it is really cool looking stuff that you can dress your characters in.
You can always play Classic.
Yes, that is an option. Although now the Classic servers have moved beyond the Molten Core. They're getting close to the end. I think the next Ramus raid is coming out in that pretty soon.
Yeah.
So that is the armor stuff that will be the ultimate prestige for the rest of that server's existence, unless they decide to make new Classic server where you're going through everything again. I don't know if they'll do that or not, but if they did, then yeah, that would be the place where these particular armor sets would shine the most.
Yeah. Well, very cool. I think that pretty much wraps it up for what we have for our lore for this episode. So that was super fun. I mean, I think we took something that is relatively small Warcraft speaking, and they turned it into a full set here with lots of flavors.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun. I really appreciate you talking about the lore. It's always very entertaining.
My pleasure.
And again, I think we've said it a couple of times, but for those who are just joining us recently, the big thing that we skipped out on this time is the old gods, who have a whole set of lore on their own, and so we'll cover that in a future episode.
Yes.
But this will be a lot of fun. We do have, we were talking about, do we have a deck of the week? And I've kind of been playing a mishmash of things, but I thought, hey, Mike just hit legend with playing a deck with a bunch of cards from the new set, so maybe we could talk about that for a few minutes before we wrap up the episode. So, Mike, do you want to tell us about I was just laughing because I looked at the name of your name for the deck here, and someone brought up the Mike Tyson face tattoo picture. Is that what you're talking about?
It was Dr. Bomb. Oh, I love Dr. Bomb. It's too funny.
Faith paint?
Yeah. Faith? Is that Faith?
Oh my goodness. So this is a big priest deck. Yeah. Let me just read the cards that are in it real quick for the folks who are listening to the audio version. So this is the big priest or res priest, if you will, deck that Mike used to hit legend over the past week. It's got 2 copies of Renew, 2 copies of Penance, 2 copies of Resurrect, 2 copies of Shadow Visions, 2 copies of Spirit Lance, 2 copies of Breath of the Infinite, 2 copies of Palm Reading, OPOP, Archmage Vargoth, 1 Eternal Servitude, 1 Mass Hysteria, 2 copies of Shadow Essence, a Lesser Diamond Spellstone, 1 Psychic Scream, the Lich King, 2 copies of Blood of Gahoon, 1 Mass Resurrection, 2 Obsidian Statues, 2 Plague of Death, and 1 copy of Scrapyard Colossus.
All right.
So tell us about this. I mean, how did you come across this? Did you make it? Did you put? I've seen like 10 different versions of this deck. Everyone's still experimenting because we're like 1 week into the
My favorite
into the
stage
meta, right?
of an expansion.
Yeah, it's like we're literally on day 3, so like you said, everybody's gonna experiment with different stuff. Real quick for the people listening to this show, because I'll never admit this on my own streams or on Twitter, but everyone who watches and listens, I'll give you guys an insight. This joke, I actually didn't create. I'll be real. All right. So I went online. I googled carnival puns or fair puns, and there was a lot of Nate, get that button ready. There was a lot of ones. Horrible. This was the only one out of 4 pages, so I had to use it. I had to. So
but it's so perfect for the priest class.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was at work and I was actually like not having fun doing what I was doing. Like and my phone like buzzed in my pocket and I pulled it out and Mike's got a joke lined up. Okay, I'll bite. Right. What does a priest do at the carnival? And I'm like, okay, what? Get faith paint, and I just started laughing. My coworkers are looking at me like, "What are you laughing?" And then I like told the joke, and people are looking at me like, "What the heck?" I'm like,
nope.
You
I
must
was in
be
a
in a
bad
particular
mood, but
mindset to appreciate it.
it cheered me up in a weird way because it's like the dumbest joke ever. But I just started laughing.
Oh man, I could see you. You're like, no. You're like, wait, no. It's a Hearthstone thing. It's big priest. It counters druid because druid's oppressive. They're like, what? No, never mind.
No, actually, that happened later that day when I told the joke to my wife, and then she said the same thing, that it was stupid.
That is not funny.
And then I'm like, no, you don't get it. It's a Hearthstone thing because we got this new expansion about the Darkmoon Faire. So then she's looking at me like, yes, honey. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yes, you had to be there.
No, I get it. It's just not funny.
Yeah. All right. So with this deck, and I know that NHL fan has played Big Priest, I think up to like in the top 10. somewhere up there. And NHL is just like Memnarch, just like Jack plays like
Yeah.
top 10 legend. So this list was crafted because I cannot, like I started the show, I can't stand aggro druid.
Don't blame me.
I was like, I'm gonna do something like Big Shaman, but I don't want to play Big Shaman, so I'm gonna have a bunch of clears, a bunch of healing stuff, and then once all that's gone, like it's my turn. You know what I'm saying? So I stumbled into palm reading. I talked about it on our review show. I just wanted to try it out. A lot of these cards, my goal was get damage, resurrection effects, and healing. The beauty in this, I've found along the way. I had like a 7 to 8 game win streak. A lot of the times, I hit shadow visions into palm reading, and it's just like amazing because like I got this turn 3 play, and even though aggro druid is really tough, the way this deck works most of the time, like I have, what's my record? I'll look it up in a second. I think my sample size now is up near 40 because on the screen you only see 22 games. I only have lost a lot of games to the druids that hit double and biggin. Seeker Mage cannot keep up. Surprisingly, I beat discard warlocks. I haven't seen a dark glare, so maybe that's gone. Maybe I'm not high enough at MMR, whatever. This deck eats slow decks alive. I beat Reno Priests like nobody's business. Like I can't believe how easy I was beating Reno Priests. And I was like, and that's when I hit Legend. I was like, there's something to this. So, like I said, I'm mulligan for Shadow Visions. I'm looking for palm reading and definitely Shadow Essence. Because some games I hit 2 palm readings and I get Shadow down to 4. Some games it's just 1 palm reading. You get it down to 5. You can play it on curve. If you got a turn 4 play, if you can, because most time the turn 4 play is going to be Spirit Lash, Breath of the Infinite. Most time they'll be discounted because of palm reading. But if you queue into a slow deck, like you got this wrapped up. If you queue into a fast deck, you're looking for palm reading, you're looking for essence, but also some board clears. Like just be smart about it. We all play enough to know to play smart early on to get to the late game. So with this deck, you want to hit Shadow Essence. Ideally, it hits Blood of Gahun or Jihoon, however you want to pronounce it, Gahun.
Gahun.
And Gahun, thank you.
Yes.
And from there, Gahun pulls out Obsidian, pulls out Colossus, pulls out Lich King. Lich King has got he's got a special place in my heart. It doesn't have to be in the deck. I just put it there. NHL Fan has a list that I tried out. I actually like it more than mine. So if you like to have like fun, play this one. But the list NHL has, I'll put it in our Discord.
I think it's probably there already. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But yeah, I've been trying to drop a bunch of lists in over the last few days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yo, by the way, Nate is the king of lists. Appreciate Nate.
NHL no problem. Stuff and dropping in.
His list is like this one, except minus Lich King, minus the statues. He fully believes all you need is Vargoth, Blood of Gahun, and the Scrapyard Colossus. And I played the deck. It also has Spear of Sapience, so you can manipulate if you draw. If you draw into one. And I actually like his deck better than mine. So if you guys, I mean, like this deck was fun, but even though I had to drop the Lich King and the statues, like once you hit that Shadow Essence and you pull a Blood of Gahun, like it pulls a Scrapyard or it pulls another Blood, and then sometimes you hit Scrapyard, and like his deck is just amazing. This is why the guy is like top 10 Wild Legend. So it's awesome. I'm loving Res Priest. I know people traditionally don't like it, but guess what? The past month has burnt me out of aggro druid. So
I haven't seen Res Priest in a long time.
Thank you, Blizzard. Hold on 1 second. So Blizzard can hear me because we got everybody online complaining. From Mike Lowe, people of color, person of color. I stream 4 days a week. Thank you. I love this deck. It's great.
I mean, I think we got it. We had a big enough break where it's kind of okay.
It was big and then it went away and now it's back. Now here's my two little minute insights here. I think with Blood of Gahun, we realized that it's better than Yasiraj. People were asking in the Discord, like, why'd you pull Yasiraj out of Big Priest? Because Blood of Gahun is better. Okay, why is it better? Mm-hmm. It's better because Yasiraj grabs a minion and deposits it, like pulls it out of your deck and deposits it onto the battlefield, where Blood of Gahun makes a copy of the minion on your battlefield, and so the minion stays in your remains in your deck, and so you've got
You get
just
multiple copies.
more and more and more copies. So statue. So here's what people are saying about statue is that it's slow. The argument is that Scrapyard Colossus has a better death rattle because the death rattle of Obsidian statue will kill a minion, but against a deck like Aggro Druid, so what, it kills a 1/1, where you've got a Scrapyard Colossus that creates a 7/7 with taunt. So it's got a stronger it's got a stronger death rattle, arguably. Or you could just include both. So
You could, but it's greedy.
It is greedy. But and so like I've seen 10 different versions of this deck, and they're all very similar. Part of it I think depends on preference. Part of it depends on your pocket meta that you're seeing. It's the same idea regardless, and so. Like you could take Mike's deck and pull out the Lich King and drop in a second Scrapyard Colossus if you wanted to, but the Lich King is awesome. So
he is fun. I love. Yeah. Real quick to add a little bit from play experience, taking out the statue and putting in another Colossus. So I had the same thought as Ari. What about the healing? And then once I saw that some matchups, like the opponent would attack statue, it's only 4 damage, right? But with the Scrapyard, if they have a weapon and they can't clear everything, and now they need to use their face, now they're taking 7. And then playing this deck, like you always have, it's crazy. You always have revives ready. So the second they clear it, boom, here comes that 14 attack, that 7/7 back with the 7 on the other side. Like NHL's deck is so amazing. Like I wish I played his first before mine, but I got legend with this deck. Like Nate said, they're all different lists here and there, but the same core essence, like resurrects.
Well, and in the past when I've done like deck comparisons or whatever, it's going to be the same core no matter what. And it's the same play style, and you can tweak it to your liking or to your collection. Sometimes I forget that we don't all like wail out, and maybe you don't have 2 copies of whatever it is, so sub out something different. It works. The other thing I noticed over the past week in playing, you talk about palm reading being OP. So palm reading, you discover a card, and then the spells in your hand get discounted. What I didn't know until I played it was that the card that you discover gets discounted also, which is like, holy cow.
I know. It almost seems like a glitch or something.
It's so good. Yeah. No. I was lucky enough to, I opened.
You can edit that out, Nate.
I'll Murgle you.
Yeah.
I started. Yeah. If
Seems like the card is working perfectly intended.
That's what I'll do. When people swear on the show, I put Murloc noises over it for the audio episode. So when Mike says "get ready for the button," that's what he's talking about.
Yep.
I love it.
So it's pretty funny, but this that card is. Palm reading is fantastic. I saw the updated Reno Priest lists, and the 2 cards that we suggested definitely made it to the list. So they're good. Priest gets more good cards. What's new?
Nothing.
Well, apparently it was new after Carousel. Talk about Purify.
You're right. I remember the day where they revealed, what was that card? Not Silence.
Purify.
God, Purify Priest or Silence Priest.
Whoa.
The backlash.
Oh my goodness, dude. That was crazy. Everything I read, everyone's bugging out about this card. It's so bad. Oh my god. I'm done with the game. So many screenshots of uninstall Hearthstone. Like
to be fair, it is a really probably pretty bad card. And then I think someone made Silence Priest out of like just to spite, and then it was like, oh, Silence Priest, you should play this. You play an 8/8 that can't attack, and then you silence it, and people start. It was the hot thing for about a minute there, and
they use that plant. It's like a 4/8.
Yep, that one, and also the statue.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah. Obsidian statue?
It's
No.
bad. Don't
No.
play it.
Yeah. Just delete them all.
There's a boss in the Dalaran heist that does basically she has a deck. Her hero power is to silence because she's the librarian, so she's all and it's like whenever you play a card, it's silence. So it often is bad for your cards, but she keeps playing the cards like that, the whole can't attack, and so then she's suddenly attacking you with all of those. So they took that and they turned it into an adventure where it's more effective.
Cool. All right, you guys. Well, it's about time to wrap up the show. We're back on our 3-hour episode. At least it's not 10 hours. So,
and I was afraid we wouldn't have much to talk about to take up.
Right. No, we did a pretty good job using up our time here. Okay. Well, Goliath, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's
My pleasure,
always a pleasure to have you, and we'll have to do another one of these pretty soon with some old gods this time.
Yes, the other half of the expansions lore.
Right? Yeah, that'll be a blast. But yeah, we really appreciate you taking the time. I know, you write the articles anyways, but this is something, we take a 10-minute read and turn it into a 3-hour episode. And so it's just a blast to talk through this stuff and get to ask questions and hear all the stories. And it's just so much fun. I feel like it's a true, it's an experience, And so thank you so much for all the work that you put in and for spending your evening with us.
Yes, thank
my
you.
pleasure.
Where can people find your content, the content that you make? I know you work with Out of Cards, and
yes.
Where can people find your content?
Well, you can find all of my lore on outofcards.com. And we cover a lot of stuff right now. Actually, if you're interested in other additional card games, we've expanded to covering Legends of Rutanara, Mythgard, even a bit of Magic the Gathering. So we've been expanding with the team. My stuff you can find in the Hearthstone section under the Lord Guides. I've been writing them for over a year and a half now, so we have a decent backlog of stuff. I'm going to be updating my Old Gods one pretty soon because I wrote that one quite some time ago, but now we have new minions from here's where this one fits in and here's where that one fits in. So if you want to be able to catch up on the Old God stuff before we get around to having our next episode on this in however many weeks, then check out my guide on the Old Gods. It actually initially needed to be a 2-parter before we merged it together. It's that long. And will be expanded in the near future whenever I get around to it. So that's one that I definitely recommend people look at. I might be working on a couple of other types of projects. Mike and I have been talking about maybe doing together. So we'll see how all of that goes. I'm not super social media active or anything, so it's probably the main spot. And if you're in the Discord, I love it when people ping me to ask me lore questions. So if all of you people in the Born to Be Discord, feel free to use that at Loramaster Goliath the Dwarf if you have any questions. I love answering that type of stuff. So feel free to reach out to me that way as well.
Very cool. Very cool. Mike, where can people find you?
Yes, sir. All right. You guys can find me on Twitter at MikeLoTV. Basically, all my socials, MikeLoTV. Catch me on Twitch. Love to stream Hearthstone. I am a Jack Harris approved wild streamer. I am one of Silas's favorite raid targets. Yes, sir. And I also get watched by Pizza TCG. So come check your boy out.
That's some good work, Mike. You are smooth.
Like you're leading off a list of credentials for a job interview.
Hey, I love to interview. My resume is like impeccable. Like it's so immaculate. I can't think of words to even describe it. Like
beauty. All right, Hydra, where can people find you?
Well, you can always find me here when we do our regular scheduled shows, which is most of the time on Friday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific time, unless we're doing some sort of crazy 10.5 hour long show on either on Saturday or, into the wee hours of the morning. And you can also find me in our Discord, which I encourage everybody to join if you're not already in there. We have a lot of good conversations about deck building, about just anything, talking about family, just whatever. It's a good community just to be in there and chat. It's really building, and we got a good core community. So it's really nice. You can also catch me on Twitch and Twitter at Hydralisk_HS.
Cool. All right. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at NateWolfTCG. It's NateWolfeTCG. More importantly, you can find the show and everything related at BornToBeWildHS.com. Again, that's BornToBeWildHS, as in Hearthstone.com. Do not forget the HS, or you will be in for a surprise, and not a good one.
Oh, yeah. The HS does not stand for healthy stuff. Please.
More like, never mind, I won't say it.
If you go to our website, you will find all of our podcast episodes are there. There's also links to the different podcast apps that you can listen to the show through. There's links to our YouTube and all of our YouTube content, a whole bunch of stuff. But one thing I would recommend, if you visit the website, look at our contact page, the ways that you can find us. And there's a link there to our Discord. We've got a really active wild community on the Discord. There's, you name it. It's really has turned into a big community. There's deck lists, and that's just part of it. But there's jokes, there's funny usernames, there's stories, there's pictures of my cats and Mike's dog, and we have a lot of fun. We really do. It's just a blast to kind of hanging out with everybody. And so
hey, real quick, your cats are pretty like cool. Like, was that a picture one time the cat was drinking water out the sink like this, like upside down?
Yep.
you turn the sink on in front of my cat, like she is out of there. Like, yeah, not happening.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, they're pretty chill cats. If you want to see my cats, you need to join our Discord.
Yep, join now.
All right.
Worth it.
Yeah, it's so yeah, no, it's been a really fun place. So if you guys are interested in interacting with us at all, the Discord is what I recommend, especially right now with all these new we kind of curate a whole bunch of deck lists and stuff as well. So as we see people playing decks, there's a handful of stuff. Some of it's competitive, some of it's just fun, and some of it's somewhere in between. And we'll post all that stuff as well, and mostly just hanging out with some pretty cool people. So, all right, and now the part that y'all have been waiting for.
And now, Unrelated Advice with Nate Wolf.
All right. Question for you guys.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right. This is something a little bit different. A fair-related question. So with COVID, it probably has been a long time since you've gone to the fair. But when you go to the local fair, what is the best attraction, ride, game, or food? Like, what do you go to first? Mike, I'll ask you first.
Okay. All right, so my favorite food is gonna be is it fried dough? Yeah, with the confectionate sugar on top, lots of it, because I shouldn't have it, and it looks really pretty and it tastes good. Yeah.
Funnel cakes.
Hey man, let me get 2 hot funnel cakes. Yeah, funnel cake, extra confectionate. Yeah, don't mess around, man. As far as rides, I guess when I was younger and smaller, not as 6'4" and huge, I like the inflated slide. Go down real quick, because I'm like, I was never like the fair. I live in a small state in a small town, so the fair is like these little rinky-dink rides, like Revolve. You know? But when I saw Revolve, I was like, that's my home state. That's the whole state. So yeah.
Oh god, that's really funny. All right, Hydra, what about you?
Okay, so where I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, we have something called the P&E. It's the Pacific National Exhibition. And it happens every single year at a place that we have called Playland. And Playland is like heaven for people who love fairs and rides and stuff. Like it has everything. Even if you want to, like, they have bands that come and play every single weekend. Like the biggest people from like around the world come and play there. It's this big thing that happens during the summer months of in Vancouver. But my favorite thing is the crappy old roller coaster that they have that is one of those all wooden old roller coasters.
Oh hell no.
And
So it looks like a Dark Moon.
This thing, yeah, they still have it, and it's been around for decades and decades and decades and decades and decades. Like it's there forever. And so you go in, and all it is just the little bar that kind of comes down like on top of you. And like, yeah, I've been on roller coasters where you got the big loops and all that stuff where, yeah, you got your shoulder pads down and everything. But the wooden roller coaster, this thing is rickety and it's fast. When you go around the corner, like you slide across the bench to the far side, and then the next corner you slide all the way to the other end. My wife won't go on it.
I don't blame her.
I brought my
Smart.
kid on it the first time he was tall enough. Like he was like just like not even like half an inch tall enough to finally get on it. And then we were just like laughing our butts off, sliding back and forth, going on this thing. And my wife's like fearing for our lives. They call it Coaster. Its name is Coaster. And oh yeah. It's good. Like you're going down the tracks and you can see like the nails that are popping out on like oh yeah, no, this thing is amazing.
Oh, like the game board in Hearthstone, you put it back?
Yeah. It's like that.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And they have all the modern rides and everything here, right? Like it's but that one's the best one just because it's there and it's great.
It's the one run by goblins.
You know, the funny thing is, when I was in California, we went to Six Flags Magic Mountain, and there was like the big wooden roller coaster that was like all super rickety, man. And what was it called? I think it was Colossus.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, Goliath. What about you? What do you like at the?
Okay,
what should you do at the fair?
So I've only been to fair twice in my life that I can remember. Really little back when I lived in Maryland. It was a county fair, and naturally everything was huge to me then. And then many, maybe like 10 years ago, I can't remember, I was in a summer art class, and they had us enter some of our projects at the fair. So I went to see that, went on a few rides. I will say that my experience with bumper cars really made me think that I would never be a good driver. I was probably in my like pre-teens thinking about driving someday. It took me a while to realize that the bumper cars do not handle like actual cars do. But I'd say that, like, you know, there's the rides and everything, and I'd say among those, my favorite is kind of like the themed obstacle course type of things, kind of like what you were talking about, Mike, with the little slide type of stuff, and just kind of versions of that. But I strongly recommend going into, you know, like have your fun with the rides and get the overpriced food if you like, that sort of thing, I guess. But I strongly recommend stopping into wherever the craft section is, because you can see some amazing pieces of unique artwork, depending on the type of fair, of course. Do all sorts of people. When I went in, there were like advanced Lego things that people had made. There were sculptures. There was wooden stuff. There was like, you know, just like ink paintings and everything, like just this amazing collection of different types of art that people made. You know, some have red ribbon, some have blue ribbon, some have the big fancy purple first place ribbon that they got. And it's just an underrated aspect of fairs that I really strongly recommend people check out.
Cool.
Oh my goodness.
This roller coaster. Oh my
Yo.
god. I'm looking at the
What
picture
is-
right now. And I'm sorry, you guys, hold on.
I'm watching the
hold on.
video. The video looks crazy.
This is there's a video?
Yeah, if you
if
scroll down.
But what are you guys looking at?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to post the link in chat.
I'd rather be at the
I
Darkmoon
thought I
Faire.
put it in
This
chat.
looks scary.
The video, the YouTube
Oh, the
link.
video link. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. This is
Yo, you read the description, it's like the ride isn't safe. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I can't. No.
Oh, I see
get
what
it.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Hydra, I get why your wife was freaked out. This is crazy.
All right, you guys.
It sounds so rickety just going up at the beginning.
Okay, normally I wouldn't do this, but look at this. You know, this thing looks like it's caught fire and burned down, and this is what's left over.
What's left over?
And you let your kid on this, and you didn't get arrested?
We were on
is so
together.
scary.
I didn't put him on it alone.
No, your kid was the that new card that casts the secret of the 3 gnomes stacked in the trench coat, so that they only have to pay for 1 ticket, and they're high enough to go on the ride.
Oh god.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Though there, you can see in the background the nice, a beautiful skyline of BC with the mountains and stuff, which is cool.
That's a lovely view as you're tumbling to your.
Wildcard said, "This is what I make when I get drunk and play Roller Coaster Tycoon."
Hey, there you go. Wiser words were never spoken, and you heard that on Born to Be Wild.